amazing this season. Fourth league-wide. Stolarz is one tick behind Connor Hellebuyck in terms of the #1 save percentage in the NHL. He's going to get down ballot Vezina, or at least he should, and he'd be a nominee if he wasn't injured, if he didn't have the pebbles removed from his knee.
Yeah, the loose bodies.
And another great part of this is, like, if he goes down, if the loose bodies reappear, I shouldn't say that. Loose bodies reappear or something else happens, like you're turning to Joseph Woll, who you've turned to previously, who has given you really no reason to not believe in him. Like, part of that 900 the last couple of years has been partly due to Joseph Woll. The goaltending has been spectacular. It can be measured against pretty much anyone in the league, and it's a main reason why this team has a chance. But I just don't know if it's like totally different than it has been prior.
I think maybe numbers wise, the total. I wasn't aware that the .916 was the save percentage for the Leafs last year in their loss, but I think I just feel more comfortable watching Anthony Stolarz and Joseph Woll in net. Like, I can't really remember how many moments there have been this season where you're like, oh, the goalie lost you that game,
and if
or
you feel
the goalie let up a huge error, and that was a bad goal. Like, maybe on one hand, we would have to sit down and like look at every goal that the other team scored and be like, okay, so yeah, that was a mistake. It was more, I guess Joseph Woll has a few, but Stolarz has just been so steady. That's why I thought right away, okay, goaltending, for me, the comfort level of seeing Stolarz in there battling it out, and then, God forbid, something happens, they're down in a series, they got to put Woll in. Like, I think that guy can rise to the occasion, and he has mostly all season.
That is, to your point, the opposite of the Ilya Samsonov experience.
Yeah, I didn't feel comfortable with him in that. He was all over.
If every fan feels this way, and I think most do, then of course the players have felt this way.
Yeah.
Like, do you think the players have hung their heads once when it comes to their goaltenders this year? That's a powerful feeling. Like, if you believe in them, and I can't imagine, you're leaning on some real good young guys.
We had some great goalies.
Yeah, just again,
future Leafs, maybe.
Pull back the curtain. We had he wasn't a first round draft pick. We had like four players drafted in the OHL over the weekend, and they're just like, kids are built different now. Unbelievable.
We're washed.
Hopefully Leafs get one of these guys.
Yeah, maybe.
We'll be pretty excited about them.
Okay, so goaltending 4 for you means what was 3?
Just the opponent in the path.
Yeah, that's fair.
Likely Ottawa. I think, last couple of years has been, Boston, Tampa,
I can't do
Florida.
that again.
Like, it's just like, it's skeletons, right? They exist, they reappear. It's potentially damaging. But this year, Ottawa likely, and then maybe a diminished Florida, then maybe a Tampa Bay team that you've beaten in the past. There are no elite teams in the Metro. It is as wide open as it's been for the Maple Leafs, so I think that's a big reason to feel like it could be different. Yeah,
so I did see that the Sens officially locked into wildcard 1 spot, so they can't jump up more, which means they'll be on the road to face either Toronto or Tampa in round 1. I guess the Eastern Conference is part of this answer for you, the opponent in the path. Like, we've talked about this on our show a lot. We do a lot of futures betting. We try to predict who's going to win the Stanley Cup. And there hasn't been, even though Washington has had a great year, such a juggernaut, like, wow, this team is unstoppable in the Eastern Conference. So why not you, if you're the Leafs? Like, why not believe in yourself that this year there's a little bit more parity in the Eastern Conference, hopefully, and you could find yourself against an injured or a depleted second round opponent. Like, I totally see this path feeling a little easy. I don't want to use the word easy, but better. How about that?
I think that is fair. It's the Leafs aren't in a position to say that. Fans aren't in a position to say that. But if we're being honest with ourselves, objective, it is a diminished Eastern Conference. Panthers team has been, you play a lot of hockey today. When you play a lot of hockey, it affects you. And it's not the Tampa of old. It could be the Leafs' time, just in terms of the quality of competition around them. I got a couple more options for my number 5. We got about 5 minutes here remaining before we got a break. Power play is 1. Coaching is 1.
Yep.
Just the general play of the core 4, aside from Austin Matthews, like the play of 16, 88, 91 this season, and forward depth. There was things I was thinking about as in terms of like the top 5. Is there one that
power
stands out
play
to you?
for me? So I'm thinking about reasons why it hasn't been successful in the playoffs. Power play, going dry, not being able to capitalize on special teams, like having one moment in a game where you jump over the board saying, we got a power play, this is going in the net. It hasn't felt that way previously, but this current power play, you think it feels like it's peaking, and this is a week you want it to feel like it's clockwork out there. You know exactly where everyone's going to go. I think for me, the change this year is it isn't just all running through Austin Matthews. I find it a lot more aesthetically and also, like, I guess more difficult to play against when Mitch Marner has more control and he's using his vision and he's creating, and you've got Tavares scoring from in front of the net and Nye scoring from in front of the net. If you're trying to draw up a roadmap to beat the Leafs power play, it's a lot more difficult this year because it isn't just throw it to Matthews who's looking for 70. Like, it's a lot more dispersed, and I think it's made it a way better power play.
Yeah, I think the power play is the top 5 reason for me compared to the other ones. It wasn't so long ago where the power play was bad. First couple months of the year, bad.
Oh, yeah, we were like, it was worse than the NHL.
Yeah, it was maybe not worse than the NHL, but bottom.
Too.
Since January 1st, though, which I think matters in terms of half the season, number 2 in the NHL. Early season struggles definitely behind them. They've had the second best power play in the league since January 1. They are 6th overall in terms of scoring rate. They are not among the elite power plays league-wide in the regular season because of that tough start, but you could make the argument that they are one of the best power play in the Eastern Conference. I think Vegas is the best since January 1. So if they have the highest functioning power play going into the playoffs, and it's been a sore point in previous playoffs, you have to feel better about the potential
100%.
Of the power play, despite me being concerned generally about the 5 forwards.
I'm curious your thoughts on, I was thinking about this when I was driving into coaching, because Craig Berube is a different guy. He hasn't been maybe what was advertised by some, that he would be jumping over, screaming, finger in the face, but I feel like there's like a huge level of respect with him, and they play hard under him, and we've seen a lot more physicality. We've seen more fights from anyone ever as a Maple Leaf this year. Not that that's going to be the way you play playoff hockey, because you're not going to be dropping the gloves every game, but I do think they're playing a tougher style, and maybe it's given some of these players like agency to feel like they can lean into that physicality, to feel like if I'm Matthew Knies or Max Domi or Bobby McMahon or Simon Benoit, that I have the ability to play a little harder. And I think that is the biggest thing I've noticed from Craig Berube's style, is that's rubbed off on the players. You can't deny that it hasn't.
Yeah, I've been impressed by the coaching. I don't know, though, if you hand this exact lineup to Sheldon Keefe, that he doesn't get more out of it. Like, I don't know that for sure.
He's a good regular season coach.
The Maple Leafs have 102 points. They could get 108, which would be really, really good in terms of comparing that to Keefe's seasons. And I think the most impressive thing about the job that Craig Berube's done is that despite changes to the way you play, like, has William Nylander played better? Has John Tavares played better since his first year as a Leaf? Has Mitch Marner been better than he is this year? Maybe you could pick one of those out, but those 3 guys have played at a level that I think compares really well to any of the Sheldon Keefe years. And it's supposed to be, we're not chasing 70 goals. We're not chasing individual accolades. We're playing team-first hockey. And Craig Berube balancing those 2 things, having so much core 4 success while trying to be less dependent on the core 4, I think is probably the best story or the best data point to his season. But I'm not sure. I think you gotta prove it. Like, is it going to be different this year with Berube? I think Berube's got to prove that still. And
I think the way we're lining up tonight, other than the third line left defenseman, looks like a pretty good opening series start. So why don't we get the lines, and then we'll take a quick break. We'll get you set for puck drop.
Okay, it'll be Matthew Knies, Austin Matthews, and Mitch Marner. Pontus Holmberg is going to play with John Tavares and William Nylander tonight. That means Bobby McMahon remains on the third line with Max Domi and Nick Robertson. This may be a Robertson thing. Maybe. As long as he's playing, you need McMahon on one side. I digress. Lorenz Lawton and Yarncroke. It'll be Raliegh and Myers, Benoit and Tanev, Dakota Mermis and Brendan Carlo.
That's it, Mermis.
Are they getting the 6th defenseman in, or is he a placeholder?
No, he's in.
He's in.
Those are the current lineups.
Joseph Wall will make the start.
All right, so that's a little better bodies-wise for the Maple Leafs, so they won't be super shorthanded on the back end. On the other side of the break, we will get you the key to victory, our players to watch.
The 2025 Honda Civic Hybrid is here, and it may sound too good to be true. With a 2-liter 4-cylinder backed by 2 electric motors, giving a combined 200 horsepower, it's our most powerful and fuel-efficient Civic ever. Plus, with an estimated range of over 800 kilometers and available features like a Bose premium sound system, your crew will love it too. Maybe it should be called the Civic 2.0. Redefine your drive with the 2025 Civic Hybrid. Visit your Ontario Honda dealer and test drive yours today.
Heard of Uline? You know, the have-it-all in stock, ready-to-deliver shipping and industrial supply specialists? the company that does things for you that are unheard of, like keeping 41,000 items in stock in our own warehouses. With customer service reps on the line to get you what you need when you need it 24/7, 365 every time. Maybe you heard it here first. Want to hear more? Visit uline.ca. ULINE, your shipping and industrial supply specialists.
Breaking news coming in from Bet365. Must be 19 or older. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit connectsontario.ca.
When you get a Subaru with symmetrical full-time all-wheel, Subaru is the multi-tool that masters every unpredictable weather condition. Visit your local Subaru dealer for great lease and finance options.
Eat a peach and celebrate the Allman Brothers legacy with the triumphant Madison Square Garden return of the Brothers live April 15th. They've taken over SiriusXM Southern Rock with stories and songs, other artists they love, and an intimate performance from the New York City studio. The Brothers host SiriusXM Southern Rock, now on Channel 79 for a limited time and always on the SiriusXM app.
NHL Morning Skate.
December 15th, Vancouver Canucks were in the playoffs. And this is when they had that big controversy going on. So they had to do something about it. And they did do something about it. Well, now they're not in the playoffs. You know what? They're not even really close anymore. This is the most absurd season falling apart. The most disappointing team this season of the 32 are the Vancouver Canucks.
NHL Morning Skate with Scott Laughlin and Gord Stellick. Weekdays 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app. The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
General manager of the Winnipeg Jets, Kevin Cheveldayoff. What would finishing first overall mean to the organization, Kevin?
Well, I think anytime that, you can finish in an area where you're getting recognized, it's special. But again, the important thing for us is process. Is when we buy into playing the way we need to play, then, we feel comfortable that we'll win more games than not. And then you let the chips fall where they may.
The Power Play. Weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app.
It's soccer's most thrilling league.
Only the Premier League can make you feel like this.
And now every match is on the SiriusXM app.
Can you believe it?
From the title race.
This is remarkable.
Keeps this title charge on track, surely.
To the relegation fight.
The impossible may still be possible.
Hear every English Premier League match on SiriusXM FC 157 and the SiriusXM app. Just search for your favorite club.
Join me, Gord Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91.
The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind Ristolainen, walks in, put it between his legs, shoots it, score!
NHL play-by-play on SiriusXM. Hockey lives here.
Suzuki sweeps it. There's a chance. Rebound, Caulfield shoots and scores.
NHL play-by-play on SiriusXM. The best hockey lives here.
Martins gets it back, stick handles to the backhand, moves in front, score!
NHL play-by-play on SiriusXM.
The world's most thrilling league is now in the palm of your hand. Hear every English Premier League match all season long on the SiriusXM app. Just search for your favorite team.
Join me, Scott Laughlin, and Gord Stellick, along with former NHLer Mike Johnson for NHL Morning Skate, weekday morning, 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91.
Window.ca.
This is Molson Leafs Hockey.
We're about to bring the war right now. Sound the alarm.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network. There's a Molson with your name on it.
Welcome back to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network. Ailish Forfar, Justin Cuthbert, a 5 p.m. puck drop. Nothing else going on in sports today. So let's get you set for Leafs and Hurricanes. The Leafs can clinch the Atlantic, which is a great feat, something they don't do often, if they win. And the Lightning lose to Buffalo, or they get a loser point and the Lightning regulation loss.
Yeah.
Just win, baby. That's all you got to do. And then also wait for the Lightning, but nonetheless.
No, I mean, it's pretty exciting.
Big game.
The Maple Leafs have been waiting a while to wrap up a number one seed in the Atlantic to avoid, the likes of Tampa or Boston or Florida, whatever team is highly dangerous in the 2-3. This would be a great accomplishment. It would be a feather in the cap for Craig Berube, and it would be a serious advantage going into the playoffs, for which the Maple Leafs need success.
Let's get to your key to victory, brought to you by your Ontario Honda dealers. Up your game. Lease a CRV Sport from 1.99% up to 36 months. Visit HondaOntario.com.
So despite, what's on the line here, this isn't like the greatest spot for the Maple Leafs. No. Travel overnight last night to Carolina for an early game. They got off the ice, 19 hours ago? Like, I will forgive them if they don't wrap things up tonight. So if you can't get a victory, and the key to victory is about getting victories, but if it's not a victory tonight, just leaving Raleigh healthy and ready to close out the week, utmost importance.
That's definitely
if
key.
You could get something else. How about a Mitch Marner point night? Some Marner production. 100 point on the horizon. He got the overtime winner last night, got him to 98. 3 games left. Just get the 100 points out of the way so maybe you can set him down to rest the week if you do actually clinch the Atlantic tonight. So I think a couple things in play. Getting through this one unscathed is very important, and a little boost if you get that Marner production.
You teed me up perfectly for my players to watch.
I tend to do that.
Yeah,
just kind of cutting your grass a little bit.
Okay.
But the player to watch is presented by Bet365. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 19 plus. Ontario only. Play responsibly. Visit connexontario.ca.
All right, you mentioned it. Marner has never got 100 points in his career. He has gotten very, very, very painstakingly close. So Marner to get 2 points tonight for 100 on the season is plus 210. And then as well, Matthew Nyes is 1 goal away from 30, which is unbelievable and is going to make the price go up. We'll worry about that in the offseason. So Nyes to also get a goal to be his 30th is plus 280. So I like either of those. I like them both. And I also think if you're feeling spicy, Leafs plus money dogs, like around 170 last time I checked. So maybe it could be the Leafs night.
It all seems somewhat correlated. So maybe you could fire up an SGP. We were going over the reasons why we think the Maple Leafs could be different this year. Number one from us was the blue line vastly improved. We'll see, despite it being diminished again tonight, if they can continue that level led by Morgan Raliegh. And I guess, not Brandon Carlo tonight.
We got Joseph Wall in net too, so a good opportunity for him. I know it feels like Anthony Stolarz has taken the crease, but you never know. There's a couple good big games here.
Carlo is playing, but Riley's playing with Myers, and Mermis is playing with Carlo, just to spread the talent around.
There you go. All right, we'll get you set for Puck Drop with Joe Bowen and Jim Ralph, which is next. You're listening to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Feel the excitement of the UEFA Champions League knockout stage on Sirius XM FC. Europe's best clubs.
What a start for Inter! And Barca are level! Brilliant Arsenal goal!
The world's brightest stars.
Mbappe! Kane! Rafinha!
All chasing club soccer's ultimate prize.
What's up, hockey fans? It's Sunday night, Sunday afternoon. Well, kind of. Depending on where you're watching from, who knows? Might be first thing in the morning. Might be the middle of the night. We don't know. But we're glad that you're here hanging out with us. And you, of course, can always let us know where you're watching from in the chat. But we've got to get to cheering on our buds. This is a quick turnaround for our Maple Leafs heading down to Carolina. We have got to get back and just put those points in the bag. Let's go, Leafs. We've got to make this happen. This is a perfect test and the perfect opportunity for our Maple Leafs to prepare for the Stanley Cup playoffs ahead. If you think you're tired now, wait until Game 7 of the second round of the playoffs. Yeah, enough said. Going to be a great night here on TSI. Go, Leafs, go. We'll see you back in the chat.
Sirius XM NHL Network Radio puts you on the ice.
If the Rangers get into the playoffs, Igor Shesterkin should win the Hart Trophy, because what is going on in front of him is an absolute miracle. They're within a mile of this playoff run.
The reason you are inconsistent is because you're consistently inconsistent. That's why they are not Tampa, Florida, Washington. I'm not buying it. What's that song? I won't be fooled again.
Sirius XM NHL Network Radio. Sirius XM 91.
Hey, Jim Rome here. What's cracking?
Hi.
Hope you're enjoying the game. And when you're not taking in a game, find us on Sirius Channel 161, XM Channel 206. In fact, we'll be there every weekday afternoon, 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern Time. If you've got something you want to break down from this game, you know where to find us. Just make sure you have it taken. Don't suck.
Step your game up.
That has never changed. In fact, the show has never changed. We're just back home. And it's great to be there. Sirius 161, XM 206. See you there.
It's soccer's most thrilling league.
Only the Premier League can make you feel like this.
And now every match is on the Sirius XM app.
Can you believe it?
From the title race.
This is remarkable.
Keeps this title charge on track, surely.
To the relegation fight.
The impossible may still be possible.
Hear every English Premier League match on Sirius XM FC 157 and the Sirius XM app. Just search for your favorite club.
Join me, Gord Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91.
The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind Ristolainen, walks in, put it between his legs, shoots it, score!
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM. The world's most thrilling league is now in the palm of your hand. Hear every English Premier League match all season long on the Sirius XM app. Just search for your favorite team. The best hockey lives here.
Burns gets it back, stick handles to the backhand, moves in front, score!
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM.
And the Leafs Radio Network.
16 back-to-back games for the Toronto Maple Leafs, and the final one is this afternoon as the Leafs tangle with the Carolina Hurricanes in Lenova Center in Raleigh, North Carolina. And the flagman of the Flying Rubber, Joseph Woll, gets the start. 25-14-1 and a 2.76 goals against average, 907 save percentage against Frederik Andersen. 13-6-1, 2.20 and a 911 save percentage. And they're brought to you by Molson. Molson, everyone in. Woll has one shutout this year, but has never beaten the Hurricanes. He's 0-2-0, 3.58. Frederik Andersen is 3-4-2 against the Leafs with a 2.89 save percentage. The Leafs will get some relief on the defense as Dakota Mermis is able to play for the Maple Leafs after the Leafs went with 5D last night at home in their win over Montreal. The puck is dropped and we're underway, and glad you're with us. The Leafs to the left and the Hurricanes to the right as it slides down in back of the Toronto goal. Played up on the wing then by Myers to center, and it's going to flip off a stick and go into the bench area and out of play. Other than Mermis, it's the same lineup the Leafs have been playing with the last 3 or 4 games.
Yeah, this is kind of a tough stretch for the Carolina Hurricanes because they've pretty much known, for the last month or so, maybe longer, that they were going to get the New Jersey Devils in the opening round. I know the Leafs have gone through that even with Boston last year, right? You knew through long stretch going in, so you try to make games meaningful. And at the same time, your number one concern really is trying to stay healthy for what's ahead in April.
Leafs get the puck back of the Carolina goal, trying to pry it free and come out of the corner. It goes back to the point, but it skips by Myers and down into the Leaf end. He has to come all the way back into his own zone and then overskated the puck. Raliegh was able to play it up on the wing, and the Maple Leafs will get it out into the center ice area. And here's Yarncrook in on the left wing. Gets to the left wing corner, played it around back of the net. The Leafs were changing, and so here are the Hurricanes getting it out and getting it down into the Toronto zone. Tanev getting it back on the wing, and it'll be out at center ice. Face-off in the Carolina zone is scrummed. Stahl winning the face-off, and it's played out into the center ice area and flipped down into the Toronto zone. Long back of the net. Tavares trying to punch it along the boards, but it is played back out into neutral ice. And now Domi lifting it in, and it's gone into the bench and out of play. So the face-off is going to be in the center ice area. And the Leafs and the Hurricanes scoreless with 18:45 left to play here in the first period. Leafs have had 6 wins in their last 7 games. As the puck is dropped, and now it is shot by Benoit into the Hurricane zone. Along the boards, Marner couldn't keep it in. The puck goes up into the neutral zone, and it is shot back in by Benoit. And around back of the net as it is played by goaltender Anderson into the corner. Marner knocked it down. Sebastian Aho circles the net, and he starts out with it. Aho to center in on the left wing. Orlov will send it around back of the Toronto goal. Collided there with Benoit. The puck in the far corner. Benoit couldn't get it. Aho centers. Pass knocked into the far wing. It's cleared around the boards and back of the net. Jarvis coming out with it. Puts the brakes on. Good play by Benoit to take him off the puck. Marner gets a pass out in the slot area, and he's going to work it to the near wing and now just gingerly play it to center. Leafs unable to get to it as Nyes had it knocked away. Tanev will launch it high on a bounce and get it into Carolina territory. Orlov getting it up on the right side. Played off a stick and down into Toronto territory. Out of the goal is Joseph Woll. He's not a defenseman, suggesting he get back in the goal crease. And now a shot, and Woll got back in the goal crease and played goalie and made the save, which is good. The one biggest difference, and there are obvious ones, between he and Stolarz. Stolarz handles the puck so much better than Joseph Woll.
Yeah, and like we said, there's one thing worse than a goaltender that can't handle a puck. It's a goaltender that thinks he can handle a puck, but he really can't.
No, that is dangerous. You're right.
And for Joseph Woll, obviously, the major hiccup that we saw this year was in San Jose, and he came out and banked one in off a shark skate into the net.
Leafs play it out into the neutral zone. Carolina will shoot it back in. Woll out of the cage, gives it to a defenseman, and he almost had it dragged in off his skate. So a couple of hiccups here. Now we're going to get an icing against Toronto.
And Carolina Hurricanes
come back into the Leaf zone.
7-3 win over the New York Rangers yesterday. That stopped a 4-game losing streak, their longest winless streak of the season. 0-3-1 before that. But Carolina are tied with the Los Angeles Kings for the most wins on home ice. That losing streak that Carolina had was on the road. They're 9-1 in their last 10 at home. And like the Kings, 31 wins on home ice.
Shot taken by Svechnikov was blocked. Back to the point. Orlov gets it down back of the Toronto goal. Raliegh hesitated a bit before getting to the puck, but now another shot is blocked, and the Maple Leafs start out at center ice. Robertson feeding it ahead for Bobby McMahon. He's taken into the corner by Jalen Chatfield, and the Hurricanes get it to the blue line and out at center, where it's corralled there by Carlo, and he'll shoot it right back down into Carolina territory. One thing about Carolina is they focus on getting the puck to the net. They outshoot their opponents and are religiously in the 30 shots on goal number and more during a contest in this league, and that is something that they have done under Rod Brindamore since taking over. Domi playing it around back of the net, gets a return pass up on the left wing, flips it out at center, but it's out of the reach of its intended receiver, and now Carolina will run it back into the Leaf zone. Jarvis trying to get it back of the net, ran into traffic there with Carlo. The puck at the side of the goal. Nylander played it back, and now John Tavares has it under control back of his own goal, playing it up on the wing, but the Leafs don't get it out. Here's a chance now for the Hurricanes. A drop pass into the corner for Aho. Back to the point, a shot. That is blocked. The rebound is cleared away to the near boards. Good pressure here from Carolina. One time pass in front, and then a shot in front of the goal by Seth Jarvis. Went 8 feet wide. At the point, Burns, far side shot. Big rebound knocked away by Joseph Woll. Burns keeping it alive in the near corner. Crowd appreciating it as the puck goes off his stick and into the crowd. And there's a perfect example of what happens when you get some forechecking going, courtesy of the Carolina Hurricanes. They're going to get pucks to the net.
I think Dakota Mermis may have been a reason that Seth Jarvis couldn't get that puck to the net, because he got positioning on the Carolina player. Earlier, though, Joe, Max Domi had the puck on the left wing boards, couldn't get it out. And what that did was result in a shift of over a minute and a half of the Leafs zone by that line. Domi playing with Nylander and Tavares to start.
Mermis is a native of Alton, Illinois, 6 feet, 197 pounds. Came via waivers from the Utah Hockey Club this year on December the 12th. And one of the Leafs is up against the end boards, Benoit. And he seems to be all right, although he's holding his mouth. Is there a penalty call coming?
I think it was Raliegh that got the stick up. He tried to lift the stick of Benoit for the loose puck and came up and caught the Leaf defenseman. Don't see any blood, so.
Carolina 96 minor penalty. Yeah, he did. Yep. And then he got kind of filled in on the boards by Raliegh as well after trying to get a glove up on his face after being clipped.
Penalty kill for the Carolina Hurricanes, number 1 in the NHL.
And their third in shorthanded goals scored. So not only do they kill penalties, they attack with the man advantage. Draw to the right of Anderson. Leafs without a shot on goal so far. 2 for Carolina. No score early. Stahl won the faceoff. Clearing attempt was failed. It comes back out at center ice, though. Brought by Jankowski to the Leaf line. Drop pass. Stahl gets the shot, and it's into the chest and held by Joseph Wall as faceoff will come in the Toronto zone.
Power play, not able to score against Montreal last night, although 2 of the power plays, Joe, they were sensational. Moving the puck around, getting pucks towards the net. And you had 2 others that seemed to be absolutely abysmal, which is the way this one is starting.
Matthews drops the puck back. Now Marner bringing it forward, drops it again, and now Matthews with speed through neutral ice, hits the blue line with a drop pass to Nylander, and they're going to call it offside at the blue line. Just to finish the information on Dakota Mermis, he played his junior hockey in London after coming over from the Green Bay Gamblers of the USHL. He's played with Arizona, New Jersey, Minnesota, and the Utah Hockey Club, totaling 75 games in the NHL. So he has got a little bit more experience than maybe some others with the Marlies. And the depth of the organization on the defensive side of things has been tested with the injuries to Oliver Ekman-Larsson and Jake McCabe. Leafs get the puck in the center ice area and brought on by Matthews. Off a skate. Tavares trying to spin it back, but it went by everybody, and Marner has to hustle back after it to play it up on the wing. Here's Nylander on the left wing for Matthews and fed into the left wing corner. Nylander trying to get there, but now Nyes helps out to play it back to the blue line. Marner to the near side for Tavares. Back to Marner, quickly into the corner. Nylander back to Marner. Wrist shot coming. It's high and wide. Matthews back to the net. Centering pass. Fanned on completely by Nylander. And it's going to be shot out and down the ice by Brett Burns.
Well, there's a little bit of traffic in front, and I think Nylander tried to drag it to change the angle and had it roll off his stick, but he was in prime position in the slot.
Second unit over the boards for the Maple Leafs. Domi through center, banks it off the boards. It goes back to the net. Anderson gets it into the corner, and out and down the ice it'll go. Wall will play it behind his goal, and Morgan Raliegh will try to set things up, but not much time left. 5 seconds in the first power play for either team. Domi to Raliegh as they hit the red line. Dropped off then and fired in by Robertson. Penalty expires. Anderson getting it into the corner and launching it out at center ice are the defenders of the Hurricanes end. And the Leafs now trying to bring it back with Tanev flipping it into the near corner. 12:40 to go first period. No score in the hockey game. When's the last time the Leafs scored a goal? Oh, it's the overtime winner. Play it around back of the net. Benoit for Tanev. Tanev to center. Left wing feed in across the line. Dropped for Lawton. He didn't shoot it. Lawton works back to the blue line, then swung it around back of the net. Centering it front. And a shot rings off the goal post from Jan Crook. Great play by Lorenz to do a backdoor pass And Yarncrook with a quick one-timer, but he rang it off the goalpost. And a shot blocked here by Mermis. Played into the corner. Carlo helps out by coming away with the loose puck and playing it out at center ice, and the Leafs break it to center. 2-on-1 break here. Chance in the shot. Pad save made by Anderson. Scotty Lawton, I think, was hoping for a redirect off the pad. It wasn't a particularly hard shot, but it looked like he was hoping the butterfly might just provide a juicy rebound as a shot goes the other way and is smothered by Joseph Wall to stop play.
Yeah, and that was the first official shot on goal for the Leafs. Yarncroc hitting the goalpost just before that. But you're right. For some reason, it seems to be more effective low blocker, doesn't it? That was low glove on Anderson. He was able to control it a little better.
No score first period. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Alpine News Network is here live with one of our superheroes.
Joe and Lucy needed a new roof and reached out to Alpine Credit.
Hey, you. Yeah, you. I'm talking to you. The new person in the chat, I know. Look at the chat. It's going crazy. But thank you for hanging out with us tonight during a Toronto Maple Leafs game here on Toronto Sports Insider. Well, we do every single Toronto Maple Leafs game here on Toronto Sports Insider, and we're really glad that you found us. You tell them, chat. Welcome. Welcome. Thank you to all the new subscribers. Now, let's get back to the hockey. Don't forget, turn on the bell so you don't miss it when we go live for every single game of the NHL playoffs coming up as part of our Playoff Pulse campaign for SickKids Hospital in Toronto. Now, let's get back to the hockey. Come on, fans. We got to cheer loud. Let's get that chat flying. Go, Leafs, go! Go, Leafs, go! Go, Leafs, go!
Terrains with advanced tread design, sipes, they really grip. That's a winning lineup.
Toyo has a tire for your vehicle for any road you travel. For a limited time, save even more on select Toyo tires. Ask us for details or go to toyotires.ca. Toyo Tires, making tires for your road.
You're listening to Toronto Maple Leafs hockey.
The cross in front, they score!
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
First period is brought to you by Bet365. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 19 plus, Ontario only. Play responsibly. Visit connexontario.ca. Hurricanes get the puck into the corner with Stahl trying to wedge it along the board. Stolen by the Maple Leafs, and they get it out at center off Marner's stick. He plays it in over the line, but no one on the right wing to corral that pass, and now brought right back and shot into the Toronto zone. Wall spinning it around the boards, but it's cut off on the far side. Back of the net it goes for Aho. Sebastian Aho getting it back to the blue line. Almost stolen by Marner, but it goes back of the net for Stahl. Stahl into the far half boards. Trying to come out with it there was Aho. He is knocked down. Stahl trying to free it up, and he does. Stankoven got it in front of the net, but it is intercepted and knocked into the corner, and the Leafs have it now and are playing it high out and down the ice, and this is going to be an icing call with 10 minutes and 37 seconds to go here in period number 1. The Hurricanes played last night, but they were at home as well, so the Leafs had to travel and have the earlier start time, which is a bit tough. And 16 back-to-backs. Unconscionable.
Yeah, not many have been home back-to-back games.
No.
Have they? That happened once, maybe this year.
Yeah.
I think it's Saturday, Sunday.
Draw one by the Hurricanes, and a shot deflects wide of Wall's cage to the far boards, back of the net. Sebastian Aho trying to come out on his backhand. Lost it. It's kick free. Matthews starts away at center. Matthews getting to the red line. Looked like he got high stick there a little bit, but no call. And now Tanev takes the drop pass as the Leafs are trying to change. Up on the left wing and launched into the zone. Nylander going in there after it. Now Tavares in against the inboards. Can't come up with it. Pinching down the boards was Benoit. And the Hurricanes just get it to center. And Tanev is there for Toronto. He works back behind the net, trying to elude the forecheck. And it's pretty sound as Jackson Blake, the son of Jason Blake, former Maple Leaf winger, former Islander. Jarvis into the corner. Knocked down by Benoit's body check, and the puck comes to center ice. Off the stick to Nylander. Little head fake, and Willie's in over the line, but stops it up. Looks to make a pass. Drops it off for Tavares. He spun it along the boards. Kept in there by Brandon Carlo. Now Tavares against the boards in a battle with a couple of players. And it's dug free by Chatfield. And going back behind the net is Mark Jankowski. Jankowski bringing it to center. And he'll get across the line on the left wing. Works down in around back of the net. Jankowski unable to center. Gets back to the point. They'll feed it off on the wing. It comes back on the near side for Burns. Burns with a wrist shot. That was deflected wide of the Leaf goal. 9 minutes to go in the first period. And I don't know if we have lost the sound from the site, but we don't have any in our headsets. Played off the boards and out into the center ice area. And the Leafs unable to come up with it. And now there's a whistle. And not really too sure what is the problem here. And we're not getting a look at the officials to see if, in fact, there's a penalty. But we'll go to a commercial break anyway. No score. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan, Maple Leafs Radio Network.
From the biggest stadiums to the coziest home.
Cheers, hockey fans. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight for the Leafs as we wrap up our season. The regular season is almost done and the playoffs are right around the corner. Our Leafs are in. We know that. Our Leafs are so close to clinching the Atlantic Division title. But I just wanted to let you guys all know, and gals, in the chat, we are going to be live for every single game of the NHL playoffs. Game 1 of every single series all the way through Game 7, if necessary, of each series. And we're going to do the same type of format as we did in our Bracket Mania campaign for SickKids Hospital. But this time, it's the Playoff Pulse campaign. Got to do all that funny stuff back behind the scenes, get everything set up with Tiltify and all that good stuff. But thank you so much for helping me create this amazing place where we get to hang out together, bring sports to the world, and just have a great place to chill with a whole bunch of other sports fans from all over the world. And it all started because of the Toronto Maple Leafs. So pat yourself on the back. Thank you, Leafs fans. Go Leafs, go! This community's the best. We'll see you back in the chat.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
Joe Bowen along with Jim Ralph as the Maple Leafs and the Carolina Hurricanes are scoreless here in the first period.
The Leafs beat Carolina the first game coming out of the Four Nations break. It was the first win after losing 5 straight to Carolina. The Leafs had a 4-0 lead in that game earlier in Carolina this year. Joe, they were up 2-0 in the first 7 minutes. Ended up losing that one 6-3.
That 6-3 game at home was kind of delusional because they've got outshot. Here's a loose puck in front. Great save by Wall as cutting across the slot was Svechnikov. It comes back into the slot and the Leafs come away with it and they're going to backhand it high to center ice. Spun around there was Sean Walker. Leafs get the puck free and will regroup it back in their own zone. Best save of the period for Wall just moments ago. Leafs are changing.
Yeah, Leafs held Montreal to 15 shots last night. They've only got 1 shot in the first 12 minutes themselves tonight.
Brandon Carlo back of the Leaf goal with a bank pass into the center ice area. A flip pass made by Scott Lawton was broken up. And now here Carolina trying to play it up on the right wing boards, and they do. And across the line, going to the net hard was Eric Robinson, but they couldn't get him the puck. Back at the point, kept in by Orlov. Round back of the net, Roslovic got it back to the point, and a shot was kicked away there by Wall. Long pass off the stick, goes up on the left wing. The Leafs are going to send an alley-oop into the corner, but the defenseman who was jumping into the rush, I think it was Carlo, had to turn back when it was forcing him to slow up at the blue line. Leafs back at center ice. Marner trying to find an open man. Bounces it for Matthews. Cleared quickly back out at center then by Carolina, and regrouping is Logan Stankovic, who gets it down into the, or Stankoven, who gets it down into the Leaf end. Played up on the left wing boards. Matthews pass too far for Matthew Nye. Leafs follow it up. Tanev gets to the red line. Hangs one deep into the zone. Cleared away by Anderson. And Slavin will get it up at center and play it to the Toronto zone. Tanev is there again. You see they are bringing back the Molson Cup 3 stars. And I know the J.P. Bickle Memorial Trophy is handed out sparingly to various people depending on what goes on in careers or in special seasons. The Leafs, as a bouncing puck to the side of the net, is going to be covered up here by Wall. The Leafs don't hand out, like other teams do, individual awards.
No.
If I was going to pick the most valuable player on this team, I would take number 8.
I was going to say.
Tanev.
I was just going to say.
Were you? So we have 2 votes.
No.
For an award that doesn't exist.
Yeah. No, I was just going to say that's what you would have picked. I don't know if that'd be a tough one. I'd have to put some thought into that.
Yep.
Both goaltenders at times have had great stretches. Anthony Stolarz, the injuries probably hurt his chances, but the numbers are certainly there. Willie Nylander, career high in goals. John Tavares' rebound season.
Shot right off the face-off there by Aho, was swallowed up by Wall. Good save. Go ahead, Jim.
But
sorry.
Yeah, it's definitely, whether there was a character award or whatever. I know Jonathan Quick won an award for the Rangers. I think it's called the Sixth Man or
yep,
whatever the award was that he won it. Rod Gilbert Award.
And the Leafs don't have that. If the face-off wasn't done correctly, they'll
But the Molson
try
Cup,
and do it over again.
I used to love that.
We have a Peter Marr Award out in Calgary. Entering a flare. Played around the boards. Tavares couldn't come up with it. Fed to the far side. Punched back of the net. Cut off by Tanev. Tanev freed it up for Benoit. He got it up for Domi, who couldn't get it ahead to a forward. Tanev will. And now Nylander with it in his skates can't get it out. Tanev has to hustle back after Orlov. Centering pass blocked. Leafs get it off on the wing. Nylander just needs to get it out instead of bringing it back. And he's gone around back of his goal with it. Now played it out at center ice for Domi, but a little bit too far. And the Hurricanes have it. 9-1. Carolina out shooting the Maple Leafs. Make it 10. Stopped there by Wall. Another shot is going to get to the net, and Wall has covered up.
Boy, this is just one of those periods trying to get the cobwebs out, right? Back-to-back games, but 22 hours between starts, which I believe in the NHL is under the NHLPA is
just
the shortest.
Yes.
You can
At
have
any
them.
rate, no score, first period. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
The Masters is on Sirius XM. Hi, this is Mike Tirico. Join our team for live coverage from Augusta National right now on Masters Radio, Channel 92.
Ball rolling up toward the hole on a good line, and it slams into the flag and goes in. Are you kidding me?
Hear every incredible shot as the best golfers in the world vie for the coveted green jacket.
It's got good speed. Break ball right in the center of the hole. What a putt.
Live coverage of the Masters continues right now on Masters Radio, Channel 92 in the car and on the Sirius XM app.
NHL Morning Skate.
December 15th, Vancouver Canucks were in the playoffs. And this is when they had that big controversy going on. So they had to do something about it. And they did do something about it. Well, now they're not in the playoffs. You know what? They're not even really close anymore. This is the most absurd season falling apart. The most disappointing team this season of the 32 are the Vancouver Canucks.
NHL Morning Skate with Scott Laughlin and Gord Stellick. Weekdays 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app. The
Power Play with Steve Koulias.
General manager of the Winnipeg Jets, Kevin Cheveldayoff. What would finishing first overall mean to the organization, Kevin?
Well, I think anytime that, you can finish in an area where you're getting recognized, it's special. But again, the important thing for us is process. Is when we buy into playing the way we need to play, then, we feel comfortable that we'll win more games than not. And then you let the chips fall where they may.
The Power Play.
Weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern
on NHL Network Radio.
Sirius XM 91 and the Sirius XM app. The world's most thrilling league is now in the palm of your hand. Hear every English Premier League match all season long on the Sirius XM app. Just search for your favorite team.
The Leafs Radio Network.
0-0 the score. We had a 0-0 game last night, and it was a rarity.
Yeah, and I'll go back to the last time. The Leafs and Canadiens were scoreless after 60 minutes.
Played into the slot area, back to the point. Carolina keeping it in with a wrist shot that was blocked. It's knocked to the near boards. Leafs are going to finally get it out at center, and it comes to the near wing as they get it in over the line with Lawton. Lawton trying to play it around back of the net. Yarncrook couldn't get there, but the Leafs pinch with the defense. But now it's brought out on the left wing side for Tyson Jost. Jost will send it down into the Toronto zone. Played along the boards on the near side. Lawton ties his man up. Puck comes free. Jost gets around back of the net, but not before Brandon Carlo gets to him and pancakes him on the ice. And it'll be set out at center ice then by Steven Lorentz.
Last time the Leafs and Montreal Canadiens were scoreless after 60 minutes. You got to go back to December the 4th, 1957.
Wow.
0-0 tie. Ed Chadwick and Jacques Plante, the goaltenders in that game.
And Ed Chadwick played all 70 games that year, which is, I believe, the last time
a Leaf goalie
played every game. Yep.
You start looking at records that'll never be broken.
It's one.
Well, yeah, most consecutive.
Well, the Glenn Hall thing.
Yeah, no, but I mean in a season.
Yes, in a season.
Nobody's going to play 70 straight again.
Played along back of the Toronto goal. 3:50 to play in the first period. No score. A bit of a trip there by Pontus Holmberg went without a call. Some of the amateur officials thought was worthy of one. The Leafs get it back at the net. Holmberg is again in traffic. Now plays it up the middle, and Robertson gets it on the backhand and bounces it down into the zone. But Bobby McMahon couldn't come up with it as he heads to the bench. Here's Burns in on the wing, getting wide. Burns tried to get a pass into the slot area. That didn't work. Hurricanes get it around the boards on the near side. Stankoven to the far side, and a wrist shot is blocked. Stankoven trying to get it in front, but Tanev blocked his path there. Out back of the net, Tavares. Gobbled up again by Hurricanes. Back to the point. D to D. It goes to the far side. Burns back to the point to Slavin. Slavin gets it down into the corner. Round back of the net for Burns. Centering pass. Blocked on the short side. Centering pass goes to the far wing. They keep it alive. Jarvis and Stankoven getting it into the corner. And now around back of the net. Out of the reach of Tanev. He has to hustle over there. Got some assistance from Nylander. But it's going to be an icing call against Toronto. And it has been all Carolina here. 11-1 the shots. And the only good thing is that there is still no score on the board with 2:38 to go in a first period that the Leafs have been hanging on.
And if you've been listening for the last 20-25 minutes, Freddie Anderson's the goalie for Carolina. Just the one shot. The Leafs also had a goal post and the only power play of this game so far. At
the point of drive, that deflects and goes up into the screen and then comes back and lands on the roof of the net in behind Joseph Wall.
Anyway, Freddie Anderson, his first 4 years, or his 4 years with the Leafs, played 208 games. Only 24 his last season. His 4 years with Carolina, he's played 122 games. It's only his 21st start of this year. Often injured, played 52 his first year with Carolina, then 34, 16, and now 21 this season.
He has developed a great friendship with Austin Matthews and Mitch Marner that has stood the test of time. As the Leafs get the puck, and it's gone off a stick into the bench area and out of play. The Leafs.
He might have a similar relationship with the Carolina medical staff.
Well, yes, he might. And he may have that same kind of relationship with the Leaf medical staff.
But yet, you look every year, his numbers are incredible.
Yep.
Yeah. This year, 220 goals against average, 911 save percentage, 13-6-1 in his 20 games.
Just can't stay in the crease. Stahl waved out of the face-off circle. Stankoven will move in. And the draw scrum, but they get it back to the point again. Burns, right wing side, pass into the near corner. Deflects away there from Matthews. Matthews trying to chip it ahead for Marner, failing that. It goes around back of the net. Morgan Raliegh is there. He'll play it out at center, but unable to play it ahead was Nyes. Here's Stahl bringing it right back in on the left wing. Stahl goes wide. Taken out of the play. The puck goes free to Matthews. Backhanded along the boards and out at center. Leafs with a 2-on-1 developing. Here's Nyes closing in. Shot stopped. The rebound was going into the net. And it went off the skate of Burns. That would have been unbelievable. Tanev going back into neutral ice. Played off a stick and in to the Carolina zone. Best scoring chance the Leafs have developed there on a 2-on-1 break out of their own end. Played up on the left wing and now out at center ice from Eric Robinson. To the right wing side for Yost. Yost drops it back. A long shot stopped by Wall. Puck is around back of the net. That battle continues with Benoit, but it comes back to the point. Kept alive by Carolina with a long shot over top of the goal. And it's going to be played along the wall, but not out of the Toronto end. Benoit with less than a minute to go in the period. Lawton punching it around back of the net. Gobbled up again by Carolina. Curling out is Roslovic. Roslovic on the near side. A centering pass that Tanev, or at least Benoit, was able to partially deflect. Centering pass. Big save made there by Wall off Roslovic's stick. And it's cleared out into neutral ice by Toronto with 38 seconds. Leafs trying to weather the storm here and get out of the first period without any damage being done. Leafs get it to center. Up ahead it comes to Robertson. Robertson going wide on his backhand. Toe save made there by Anderson. Back to the point of shot. That went off a body and one of the centering pass. They score! The Leafs score with 16.5 seconds left in the period. And of all people, it's Pontus Holmberg. Never mind. Everything worked just fine for the first period. Little rope-a-dope, and then boom!
That's a big rope-a-dope. Leafs, you know what? It started with Morgan Raliegh, made a great move to get out of his own zone. Hannes Holmberg jumps on a rebound in front off the right pad of Freddie Anderson, and for Holmberg, he'd had just 3 assists in his previous 18 games, so first and 19 for Holmberg. And he was, by the way, when the Leafs had the 4-0 lead in the first period over Carolina right after the break, it was Holmberg, Tavares, Camp, and Steeves. And Steeves scored his first career NHL goal. So it wasn't the regulars, other than Tavares, that were lighting the lamp.
7th goal of the season for Pontus Holmberg.
Morgan Raliegh is the one that knifed the rebound back to the front of the net, and Freddie Anderson, I don't know if maybe his defenseman Morrow touched that before it got to him that produced the rebound.
Leafs win the draw on the Toronto zone. Punched into the corner. 2 seconds left. A centering pass is broken up. And the Leafs, despite being severely outplayed in the first 20 minutes, are going to carry a 1-0 lead to the dressing room. Pontus Holmberg from Raliegh and Carlo is the scoring play.
And it was right before that they had the 2-on-1. So the Leafs very sleepy when it came to any kind of offensive zone time. They get the 2-on-1 break. That doesn't go. That was with the Matthews line. And then in the dying seconds of the period, it's Pontus Holmberg jumping on it. And as we said, snapping an 18-game goalless drought to put the Leafs up 1-0. In fact, I think his last goal was against Carolina.
Muhammad Ali would have been absolutely proud of that Zaire impersonation.
But the other side of it, too, Joseph Wall. We talked about this before we went on the air. This was an important game for him, an important start. And he's the one that has held them in long enough to get their legs out from under them and, take a 1-0 lead into the dressing room.
And he has a much better record when he is outshot than when kind of being idle a little bit. So he certainly wasn't idle in this period.
Leafs were excellent at making sure of that.
Yes, they were. 13-5, the shots on goal. But the fifth one is the only goal. Holmberg from Raliegh and Carlo at 19:43. We'll step aside, and Ailish Forfar and Justin Cuthbert bring you through the first period intermission. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
As a sports fan, I just want the game.
What's up, hockey fans? It's Sunday night, Sunday afternoon. Well, kind of. Depending on where you're watching from, who knows? Might be first thing in the morning. Might be the middle of the night. We don't know. But we're glad that you're here hanging out with us. And you, of course, can always let us know where you're watching from in the chat. But we've got to get to cheering on our buds. This is a quick turnaround for our Maple Leafs heading down to Carolina. We have got to get back and just put those points in the bag. Let's go, Leafs. We've got to make this happen. This is a perfect test and the perfect opportunity for our Maple Leafs to prepare for the Stanley Cup playoffs ahead. If you think you're tired now, wait until Game 7 of the second round of the playoffs. Yeah, enough said. Going to be a great night here on TSI. Go Leafs, go! We'll see you back in the chat.
But again, the important thing for us is process. Is when we buy into playing the way we need to play, then we feel comfortable that we'll win more games than not, and then you let the chips fall where they may.
The Power Play, weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
The world's most thrilling league is now in the palm of your hand. Hear every English Premier League match all season long on the Sirius XM app. Just search for your favorite team.
A hat trick. Conditions apply. Visit HyundaiCanada.com or your local dealer for details.
Order up for Damien.
Hey, how did your doctor's appointment go, by the way? Did you ask about Rybelsus?
Actually, I'm seeing my doctor later today.
Did you say Rybelsus? My dad's been talking about Rybelsus.
Rybelsus? Really?
Yeah, he says it's a pill that...
Well, I'll definitely be asking my doctor if Rybelsus is right for me.
Rybelsus. Ask your doctor or visit rybelsus.ca.
Order up for Rybelsus.
At Newboro, we develop unique plans so people can unlock the equity in their home. Unique like this one. It's called the Wands Plan. Mark and Maria were searching for a way to invest in their future and increase their cash flow. We created a plan with a strong foundation, erased debt, and even helped Maria finish some additional schooling. We think that's pretty smart. Reach out today. We'll work side by side to unlock the equity in your home.
Use your home to get a loan with Newboro.
License 13115.
The My Choice sales event is back at Nissan and the choice is yours. Choose our best-selling Rogue, always ready for adventure, or the rugged Pathfinder, a towing powerhouse, or the all-new boldly redesigned Kicks. And now during My Choice, you can choose up to $1,500 in Nissan bonus or accessory credit, or choose 3-year prepaid maintenance. Hurry into your local Nissan dealer today. $1,500 applies to Pathfinder and select Rogue models when leasing or financing through NCF. Conditions apply. See Nissan.ca for details.
Big Easter deals are on at No Frills until April 16th. This week, get selected varieties of Green Giant frozen vegetables for only $2.75. Fill your basket at prices that won't be beat. No Frills. Proudly Canadian. See flyer for details.
You're listening to Toronto Maple Leafs hockey.
Cross the line with a pass, and they score!
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
Anderson back to the point of shot. That went off a body, and one of the centering pass, they score! The Leafs score with 16.5 seconds left in the...
Welcome back to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan, the Maple Leafs Radio Network. I'm just getting an echo.
Yeah, it's a little echoey.
I think we're echoing.
It might be okay, though, on regular radio, so we should probably just power through.
All right. I'll try to power through. I'm hearing my own voice multiple times. It is a 1-0 lead for the Maple Leafs after 20 minutes. Unexpected. Pontus Holmberg pots his first in 19 games, and probably feels pretty good about that.
Oh, I'm sure he does. Not necessarily guaranteed to be a mainstay in a playoff roster. So another thing for Craig Berube to ponder on is probably a good thing for Pontus Holmberg. Good thing for the Leafs. I mean, I think that period was largely a positive one, despite having one shot. Yeah. Like, it's just like, okay, this is the type of game it's going to be. Just get through it. Make sure you're on the flight home feeling good, but all of a sudden you have a 1-0 lead after a period was largely dominated by Carolina. So hopefully that inspires a little bit of something, but this feels like it's being played at about 60% on both sides, or at least from the Leafs side. Yeah,
Leafs are on a back-to-back, as we mentioned in the pregame show, but they got a great opportunity at hand if they can win this game to clinch the Atlantic, and hopefully getting a Lightning loss to Buffalo would do that. But they've got a couple more games this week. We mentioned it. They play Tuesday night and Thursday night, so opportunities to fully clinch the top of the Atlantic. But you got 1-0 lead at this point. You can just play some shutdown D, and maybe it'll all work out.
Yeah, perhaps. This Carolina team, again, like they've kind of been suffering from the Maple Leaf syndrome because they've been locked into their position forever too. This is what it's been like for the Leafs the last 2 or 3 years, where they're going to be the 2 or 3 seed. There's not really any wiggle room. You're definitely in an advantageous spot, given that you're going to be hosting a New Jersey Devils team that is going through it a little bit on night one of the Stanley Cup playoffs. So you could feel good about that. But Carolina's probably looking for incentive at this point. And when, again, you play 2 games over the course of 24, 26, 27 hours. Yeah, it's this late in the season, it's hard to get up for it, but they were the better team in the period. Again, I just don't think anyone's sweating the actual outcome at this point, despite the Maple Leafs having the real stakes of, hey, a win tonight basically wraps up the division.
All right. I think we should take a quick break, just see if we can figure out our audio. Apparently it sounds good on everybody else's.
That's what I was thinking. Just power through.
All right,
sounds terrible for me.
I literally feel like I'm talking to you in a spaceship.
Okay, so
let's
hit the break and we'll get things sorted out.
Yeah, we've got time for break. We do have out of town scoreboard to get to, and we'll get you set for the second period. You're listening to Most Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan, and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Hey everyone, Adney and Burke here to talk about our great podcast, NHL Unscripted with Burke and Demers.
Jason Demers here. After playing 700 NHL games, it turns out I have an opinion or two. Whoever's saying trade one of them, you don't know anything about hockey. I'm on the bandwagon. I'm rooting for this team. With new guests every week, we will talk about hockey and more.
Can't wait till you watch this movie because it's the biggest award of her career.
He went into the cheetah exhibit. The cheetah took a piece out of him, and he came into the ring the next day.
Tune in to NHL Unscripted with Burke and Demers on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
From the biggest stadiums to the coziest holes in the wall. From house parties to porch hangs to pride celebrations. From your favorite fuzz shop to your local Indian spot. From noodle bars to sports bars to salsa bars. There's a
So happy that you're here hanging out with us tonight. Please do all of the normal YouTube business. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you just found us. Share this link out. Let's build a bigger community than we already have as we approach 100,000 subscribers. Thanks so much. We'll see you back in the chat. Now let's get the chant started. Go Leafs, go! Go Leafs, go! Go Leafs, go!
For great lease and finance options.
Breaking news coming in from Bet365. Must be 19 or older. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit connectsontario.ca.
Heard of Uline? You know, visit uline.ca. ULINE, your shipping and industrial supply specialists.
The 2025 Honda Civic Hybrid is here, and it may sound too good to be true. With a 2-liter 4-cylinder backed by 2 electric motors, giving a combined 200 horsepower, it's our most powerful and fuel-efficient Civic ever. Plus, with an estimated range of over 800 kilometers and available features like a Bose premium sound system, your crew will love it too. Huh, maybe it should be called the Civic 2.0. Redefine your drive with the 2025 Civic Hybrid. Visit your Ontario Honda dealer and test drive yours today.
You're listening to Toronto Maple Leafs hockey.
Lorenz looking at the empty net as he gets to center. Drained it!
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
Welcome back to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network. We fixed it! We're back, Ailish and Justin, for your first period intermission. I don't know. Things are funky, but it's a 1-0 lead for the Leafs, and we can hear each other fine. It was a goal by Pontus Holmberg, his first in 19 games to get you set. A big game for the Leafs, but good goal for him.
Good goal for him. Again, he's fighting for positioning, I guess, in the bottom six, despite him moonlighting as a top six forward on a couple occasions this year. But everything seems to be set, right? Stolar's blue line, mostly the forward core. And then we got this little curveball, Yarncroke playing on the top six yesterday, and McMahon playing third line, although there's been some second line minutes here in the first period as well. Like, is Craig Berube just keeping us on his toes?
Yeah,
our toes? Like, what do you think's going on there?
About that, before Pontus Holmberg had scored, I was looking for a topic to discuss because that was a pretty quiet Leafs period, and I wrote like Robertson in game 1 ? Because he had been a healthy scratch for quite a while, and then he gets in and he scores. And I was curious your thoughts on that, but maybe he just hasn't figured it out yet. Maybe this is like another 3-game sample size to try to figure out that bottom six, but you're getting a bit close in terms of time to figure it out. And you want to have those pieces solidified soon, so you just feel like you know exactly what to expect come night 1 of the playoffs.
Yeah, I guess because David Kampf who's a little bit banged up, not playing tonight, is the antithesis in some ways of Nick Robertson, like the offensively challenged center as opposed to the talented scoring on his best night right winger. They're like completely different. It does force change to your bottom six. But I don't know if I'd force change to the top six under any circumstances.
No, don't touch it.
I get that maybe McMahon is the stabilizing force for a Domi Robertson line, but Scott Lawton's got to serve some purpose too, right?
Yeah, Scott Lawton.
I guess he's a fourth line center with Kampf out. Like that's the little domino effect of everything does worry you because there are going to be some injuries, and you don't want to mess with what is working so well. And I think McMahon working so well in the second line is something I wouldn't make concessions over.
Let's take a look at the NHL scoreboard presented by Bet365. Where for the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 19 plus, Ontario only. Play responsibly. Visit connexontario.ca. Before you get that, a huge win by Team Sportsnet in the Fan First Invitational, which we were a part of for the morning. Yep. They did it without us, and they have the hardware, a big trophy to celebrate. Congrats.
Mike Futa will be drinking champagne, I imagine, out of it on the Fan Hockey Show.
If you watch the Fan Hockey Show tomorrow, that trophy will be there. He'll probably spend 45 minutes of the show talking about the tournament, but we are excited to have had a small hand.
Great broadcaster, but I don't think I've ever seen him look more comfortable than he does or does
in that dressing room.
Behind a bench, yeah, and addressing a team. Okay, let's go to the out-of-town scoreboard. The Islanders beat the Devils 1-0 earlier today. Senators got a 4-3 victory in overtime over the Philadelphia Flyers, crystallizing that first wildcard position in the Eastern Conference. Bruins up 3-1 on the Penguins in the third period. And still to come tonight, 5 more games. Buffalo will visit the Tampa Bay Lightning. Ramifications for the Maple Leafs potentially. Washington will host the Blue Jackets. Edmonton will take on the Winnipeg Jets. Sharks and Flames from the Saddle Dome. And Colorado will take on the Anaheim Ducks.
And how is the Masters looking, Justin?
Right now, the Masters is very, very interesting. McIlroy had an unbelievably bad error on a par 5 that he laid up on. Double bogeyed the hole. We have a three-way tie atop the leaderboard right now at 10 under with Justin Rose, Rory McIlroy, and Ludwig Oberg.
Wow.
Oberg. I think he's reintroduced the G. Oberg.
I think he's gone back to Oberg. Yeah. Wow. All right. So much to watch.
Like a hockey player with all these pronunciations.
Yeah, that's true. So much to keep an eye on. And there's our Canadian Corey Connors missing.
He couldn't get it going. He's 4 back. He could have been 3 back with that putt.
Well, we'll direct our attention to the Toronto Maple Leafs and the Carolina Hurricanes, who are starting the second period next. Jim Ralph and Joe Bowen will have the call of that for you. You're listening to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan, and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
The temperature is rising. The flowers are blooming. And Happy Radio is here to make your days even brighter. Playing nothing but feel-good hits to put a pep in your step. Listen to our collection of Happy Radio channels anytime at home with the SiriusXM app on your phone, computer, Alexa, TV, or other internet-connected devices.
NHL Morning Skate.
December 15th, Vancouver Canucks were in the playoffs. And this is when they had that big controversy going on. So they had to do something about it. And they did do something about it. Well, now they're not in the playoffs. You know what? They're not even really close anymore. This is the most absurd season falling apart. The most disappointing team this season of the 32 are the Vancouver Canucks.
NHL Morning Skate with Scott Laughlin and Gord Stiller. Weekdays 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app. The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
General manager of the Winnipeg Jets, Kevin Cheveldayoff. What would finishing first overall mean to the organization, Kevin?
Well, I think anytime that you can finish in an area where you're getting recognized, it's special. But again, the important thing for us is process. Is when we buy into playing the way we need to play, then we feel comfortable that we'll win more games than not, and then you let the chips fall where they may.
The Power Play, weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
It's soccer's most thrilling league.
Only the Premier League can make you feel like this.
And now every match is on the Sirius XM app.
Can you believe it?
From the title race.
This is remarkable.
Keeps this title charge on track, surely. To the relegation fight.
The impossible may still be possible.
Hear every English Premier League match on Sirius XM FC 157 and the Sirius XM app. Just search for your favorite club.
We deliver the NHL. And I just wonder, Berkey, what your thoughts are on the Capitals. They are Exhibit A as to why a retool can work.
Yes, but it's early. Haven't had a playoff run yet. A lot of people taking vows right now that shouldn't be. I really like this coach. I think Chris Patrick, the GM, has done a real nice job. It is a retool, right? And the goaltending's been spectacular, but let's see. Don't pick out a parade route yet, boys.
Sirius XM, NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91.
Right side to Wilson, centered up. Ovechkin has it, he scores! He scores! Alex Ovechkin scores 895! There's a new goal-scoring champion, and his name is Alexander Ovechkin! He has done it!
Congratulations to Alexander Ovechkin. Welcome to Hockey Immortality from everyone at Sirius XM NHL Network Radio. Sirius XM NHL Network Radio puts you on the ice.
If the Rangers get into the playoffs, Igor Shesterkin should win the Hart Trophy, because what is going on in front of him is an absolute miracle. They're within a mile of this playoff run.
The reason you are inconsistent is because you're consistently inconsistent. That's why they are not Tampa, Florida, Washington. I'm not buying it. What's that song? I won't be fooled again.
Sirius XM NHL Network Radio. Sirius XM 91.
Join me, Gord Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91.
And that went whistling wide. Again, the Leafs hemmed in their own end here, and the Hurricanes have got a lot more energy going, that's for sure. Burns shot it, and that was directed wide of the goal by Joseph Woll. Carolina with the puck again. Back to the point, it's going to bounce, but kept alive by Burns, who keeps it in. Penalty coming here against Toronto as well. Extra attacker on for the Hurricanes. Looking for the tying goal as it comes back to the point. Dished off on the left wing side then by Slavin. Shot now deflects and is touched by Myers. And is it Morgan Raliegh going to the penalty box?
Well, Morgan Raliegh was felled earlier on in that shift by Carolina and the Leafs. So Morgan Raliegh took one off the inside of the right knee. And that hobbled him and kept him behind the play most of the time they were out there. But
might be interference to Myers, though. That is gets the penalty, and that is in fact what it is. So the Leafs are a man short. Penalty kill brought to you by your Ontario Honda dealers. Get home ice advantage on every drive with the new Civic Hybrid. Proudly built in Ontario. Visit your Ontario Honda dealers today. And the Leafs ice the puck off the face-off win. Burns playing it back. Carolina is 25th in the league in power play. As good as they are penalty killing, their power play has not been as nearly as good. Puck back of the Toronto goal. Marner pinning it up against the boards, got it freed up, and the Leafs get it to the line but not out. Good play by Taylor Hall to keep it in. Puck into the far corner. Hall goes to the front of the net. Down on the far boards is Seth Jarvis. Jarvis trying to play it along the boards. Got some help there from Jackson Blake, but the Leafs intercept, and they have shot it out and down the ice. Minute 10 to go in the power play. The bearded one, Brett Burns, getting it ahead at center, and in across the line come the Hurricanes. A drop pass for Burns. Slid over on the near side for Blake. Blake back to Burns. Burns to the one-timer on the far side that whistled wide. And the rebound has exploded and gone all the way back down into Carolina territory.
Well, must have adjusted the shots on goal again. Now they've got it down to 11 for Carolina.
See, I told you it wasn't nearly as bad. Brought in across the line for Stan Coben. A shot went wide of the Leaf goal. Played along the boards on the near side. Svechnikov back to the point. Walking the line with it there was Morrow. Scott Morrow got it into the corner. It comes back to the point to Morrow again. Pass into the slot. Broken up. And it is Lorenz backhanding it down the ice with 20 seconds left to go in the power play. How about shot attempts, Mr. Ralph? That probably is going to show a little more the domination that's gone on. As it's flipped in by Benoit, the penalty has 4 seconds in it. 33 attempts at goal by the Hurricanes as it's down into the Toronto zone. Tanev against the boards, backhands to the line and gets it out at center. 16-18 to go in the second period. The Leafs lead it by a score of 1-0. A victory by Toronto and a loss by Tampa in Buffalo will give the Leafs first place in the Atlantic. They have secured home ice, but the first place is a kind of a nifty little spot to be for sure. Down into the corner now, it's Walker. Walker looks in front, sent it out in front of the net. It comes back to the point, a drive that deflects high over top of Wall. Kept alive again by the Hurricanes. Walker getting it around on the boards. Nylander trying to tip it but didn't get it out. And now against the boards, Tavares will finally get the puck to center, and he follows up on a rush as Nylander just pokes it in over the line. The Leafs have had no zone time whatsoever to speak of thus far, although they'll get a face-off in Carolina territory thanks to an icing.
Maybe 2 shifts in the first period. One resulted in the only goal of the game so far. Anyway, they've adjusted the Leaf shots on goal to 4 as well. They had it 5 after the first period, so 12-4 Carolina. But you're just kind of waiting for the Leafs to get the legs going.
34-10 shot attempts.
A lot of times back-to-back games, it's early on in the second game that takes you a while to get going. Even Montreal last night, second back-to-backs were better in the third period.
Leafs control the puck. McMahon goes into the corner, a little stutter step, but he lost the handle on it. And a couple of Leafs collide as Holmberg went down, and it is brought out into the center ice area and down into the Leaf zone. Or trying to get a backhand away there was Hall. He's taken into the corner. The puck comes. The official went for a sprawl. Now a turnover, and the Leafs breaking with Bobby McMahon. McMahon has it roll off his stick, and he couldn't get around Dmitry Orlov. Puck comes back out to the blue line, and the Hurricanes get it to center, and in on the left wing, a drop pass and back into the side of the goal, and unable to wrap it around, and a good hit in front of the net by Myers flattens one of the Hurricanes. Played up on the far boards and out at center. Bouncing puck controlled by the Leafs. Pontus Holmberg fed into the corner now for Nicky Robertson. Robertson swinging it around the boards. It'll find Morgan Raliegh. He makes a fake and goes deeper into the corner. Now going to try to find a point man, and it's Marner on the far half wall. Marner spins, still with it. Tried to one-hand it in front, lost the handle, and the Hurricanes get it out at center. They'll get it down into the Toronto zone with a shot and into the glove of Joseph Wall, who has been stellar thus far in facing, well, now they just say 12 shots on goal, but all of the traffic that has been developed by better than 35 attempts at goal.
The importance for Joseph Wall in this start, and I was just reading where it's the first time in Leaf history they've had 2 goalies win 20 games.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, don't you find some of those stats incredible? Right from the 0-0 score against Montreal, you go back to the 1950s.
Draw one by Carolina. Played in around the boards. It's going to come to the near side. Backhanded back of the net. Tanev punching it along the wall. It's going to go all the way down the ice. And an icing call coming here against Toronto. And with 14 minutes left in the period, Holmberg from Raliegh and Carlo is standing the test of time. The Leafs with a 1-0 lead.
A lot going on this Sunday afternoon. Blue Jays played this afternoon. The Masters in Augusta. Still going on. Rory McIlroy back in the lead.
Oh.
-11. I love Jim Nance.
Yeah, nice of him to inform everybody that he's not going to retire for 34 years. He's going to be at the Masters. I don't blame him.
I mean, I think...
Oh, he does such a marvelous job. Yep. Leafs with it in their own zone. Nyes got it past one defender. Couldn't get it to behave, though, and the Hurricanes send it right back down into the Toronto zone. Tanev sending it around the boards to the near wing. Out comes Matthews to the line and in on the right wing side. It bounced over the stick of Tanev. He got it back of the net, but Matthews couldn't trap it. Now Marner against the near boards to Nyes. Nyes unable to hold on to it, and the Hurricanes get it to center and send it down into Toronto territory. The Leafs have 2 more games after this one in Buffalo on Tuesday night, and then at home against Detroit. As a tangle there between Tavares and one of the Hurricane defenders has the Hurricane player down in against the boards. That was Chatfield.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think this is a penalty either, as Tavares tried to jump past Chatfield, and I don't think there was any kind of hold or pull. I think Chatfield,
well, Chatfield kind of grabbed onto Tavares and tried to go down.
He tried to draw the penalty. Tavares does sort of grab onto the left shoulder, and then Chatfield grabs Tavares' arm and drops, but doesn't get the call.
1-0 Toronto. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan, and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Breaking news coming in from Bet365, where every nail-biting overtime win, breakaway, pick six, three-point shot, underdog win, buzzer beater, shootout, walk-off, and absolutely every play in between is amazing. From football to basketball and hockey to baseball, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. 19 plus, Ontario only. Please play responsibly. Gambling problem? Visit connexontario.ca.
The 2025 Honda Civic Hybrid is here, and it may sound too good to be true. With a 2-liter 4-cylinder backed by 2 electric motors, giving a combined 200 horsepower, it's our most powerful and fuel-efficient Civic ever. Plus, with an estimated range of over 800 kilometers and available features like a Bose premium sound system, your crew will love it too. Huh, maybe it should be called the Civic 2.0. Redefine your drive with the 2025 Civic Hybrid. Visit your Ontario Honda dealer and test drive yours today.
Heard of Uline? You know, the have-it-all in-stock, ready-to-deliver shipping and industrial supply specialists? The company that does things for you that are unheard of, like keeping 41,000 items in stock in our own warehouses, with customer service reps on the line to get you what you need when you need it 24/7, 365 every time. Maybe you heard it here first. Want to hear more? Visit uline.ca. ULINE, your shipping and industrial supply specialists.
You're listening to Toronto Maple Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
1-0 Toronto on a goal by Pontus Holmberg, his 7th of the year in the dying stages of the first period as a shot by Nylander went high and wide. Riley's able to keep it in at the near point to Tavares. Tavares stutter steps, got it back to the point. Raliegh to Nylander, wrist shot coming. That was stopped. It bounced, and Anderson was able to get his glove on it. Max Domi was out in front of the net.
This really seems like lap time for Craig Berube, doesn't it? Trying to figure out what he's going to do with the second line, the third line. We see Max Domi up with Nylander and Tavares. We saw Yarncrook up there. Bobby McMahon's had some stints. He's recently put the Domi-McMahon Robertson line back together last night against Montreal, but I don't think he's thrilled with what he's got yet.
Back of the net, Domi unable to get it away there from Chatfield. It comes out on the wing, and trying to move it is Blake as he gets it in over the line, but the Leafs will play it around back of their own goal. Puck grabbed off a centering pass, went off a stick, and now Tavares starts out at center ice. He's to the red line. Played it ahead. Morgan Raliegh was into the rush, but they couldn't get him the puck. And now Brandon Carlo has to hustle back to get in the way there of the Carolina player, who comes out with it, and Seth Jarvis gets it back into the slot, poked away nicely by Domi, and then pushed out at center ice by Max as well. Shot by Scott Morrow back into the Leaf zone. Down the boards is Carlo. 2 out covered. Blake plays it around the boards to the near side. Pinching in is the defenseman Scott Morrow. He is unable to get to it. It comes back to the blue line. Tipped in with a shot. Blockered away there by the Leafs. It comes back to the point again. Morrow trying to find a man in front, and it's in the skates of Carlo. He didn't notice. And it's around back of the net. Got to be an awful feeling. Where'd it go? It's there. It's there. Raliegh heading to the bench. The Leafs get it in their own zone. Benoit's pass up for Lawton, and Lawton will get it out at center ice. Shot right back in again by Tyson Yost. Wall out of the cage to play into the corner for Benoit. He fanned on a pass. That produces another turnover. Far side for Lawton to jam his man up against the boards in Orlov. Orlov loses the puck, and the Leafs with possession will get it to center, and Tanev just flips it to the line in order to get a change started. 10:47 to go, second period. Leafs with a 1-0 lead. Svechnikov got in over the line but couldn't penetrate along the boards. Now grabbed off by Stankoven around back of the net. Knocked down on the play. Good play made there by Mermis, the defenseman for the Maple Leafs. Mermis working his man in the corner, and it comes free, and out come the Leafs at center ice. Played by Marner off the boards and in over the line. Again, it's get the puck to center ice, get it into the zone so they can get a change going, because they've spent so much time in their own end of the rink. Cleared in along the boards. Out of the goal was Wall to play it up, but the puck is intercepted. And then it is shot by Logan Stankoven, and it may have missed the net by 122 feet.
I think that went off Dakota.
No, I don't think it did. No, it did. No. It was just a really bad shot.
And just watch the replay. No, here.
That was funny, wasn't it, though?
Yeah, you see.
All right. But off Mermis' stick. Otherwise, it was a really bad shot.
Bad result.
Matthews wins the faceoff. Played into the near corner. A long alley-oop gets out at center, and Matthews with one man back is in over the line against Burns. And he swept the shot and went high and wide of Anderson's cage. Comes back out at center ice. Played off the boards by Myers. Brought in by Matthews with a man going to the front of the net. The pass in front. Matthews scores! Great play by Nyes. He took traffic to the net. And then Matthews and Raliegh play catch. And Austin Matthews finishes. And it's 2-0 Toronto.
Second outstanding assist by Morgan Raliegh as well. Here in this game is Matthews. It's a one-on-one rush that takes the puck into the zone. He misses the net, but the Leafs retrieve it. And what a great play between Matthews and Morgan Raliegh. And as you said, it was Matthew Nyes that went to the net and took two men with him. And the little give and go, and Matthews stays in the right wing circle, and the little half one-timer slapper beats Freddie Anderson, and on 6 shots on goal, the Leafs have a 2-0 lead.
So the Leafs get a great pass from Raliegh, and Matthews finishes for his 31st of the season, and the Leafs are back in with another shot that Anderson stopped, but the backhand then by McMahon was stopped by Anderson as well. Puck into the corner and around back of the net. Now a bank shot was intercepted and brought out at center ice by Roslovic, and he sends it down into the Toronto zone. 2-0 Toronto midway through the second period. And the Leafs have been opportunistic, if nothing else. Pass ahead, broken up. Brought back in offside. The player didn't get off the ice in time. And, yeah, I could see where you might boo that. That was a tough call. But the Maple Leafs with a 2-0 lead midway through the second period. With 8:47 left, you're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Find out who will move on to the UEFA Champions League semifinals on Sirius XM FC. Arsenal shocked the world, dominating the defending champions 3-0 in a first leg masterclass.
What a night for Declan Rice!
But count out Real Madrid at your own peril.
If there's any team that can pull this off, it is the most decorated European side of all time.
Real Madrid, Arsenal, Wednesday at 3 Eastern on Sirius XM FC 157 and the Sirius XM app.
NHL Morning Skate.
December 15th, Vancouver Canucks were in the playoffs. And this is when they had that big controversy going on. So they had to do something about it. And they did do something about it. Well, now they're not in the playoffs. You know what? They're not even really close anymore. This is the most absurd season falling apart. The most disappointing team this season of the 32 are the Vancouver Canucks.
NHL Morning Skate with Scott Laughlin and Gord Stellick. Weekdays 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app. The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
General manager of the Winnipeg Jets, Kevin Cheveldayoff. What would finishing first overall mean to the organization, Kevin?
Well, I think anytime that, you can finish in an area where you're getting recognized, it's special. But again, the important thing for us is process. Is when we buy into playing the way we need to play, then, we feel comfortable that we'll win more games than not. And then you let the chips fall where they may.
The Power Play, weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
It's soccer's most thrilling league.
Only the Premier League can make you feel like this.
And now every match is on the Sirius XM app.
Can you believe it?
From the title race.
This is remarkable.
Keeps this title charge on track, surely. To the relegation fight.
The impossible may still be possible.
Hear every English Premier League match on Sirius XM FC 157 and the Sirius XM app. Just search for your favorite club.
The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind, wrist the line, and walks in, put it between his legs, shoots it, score!
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM.
Net for Tanev. And his chip pass got up for Nylander. Nylander couldn't get it out. Tanev plays it around back of the net safely to Benoit. Benoit airmails it high to center that Tavares must have just touched because the official has waved off the icing. 8:10 to play in the period. Out come the Hurricanes with Burns on the right wing. Chatfield carries on in over the line with a pack. Good save made there by Wall. And the rebound is shot out and down the ice, and it won't have enough to go for icing. Orlov goes back to retrieve it. Orlov coming slowly out of his own zone. Got it to the blue line where it's pumped into the Toronto end. Wall along the wall for Raliegh. Played along the boards, but not far enough to get it to the winger, but now it does. And Nyes starts out trying to protect the puck and flips it into the zone. Nyes into the forecheck, but Anderson played it away from him. Burns got it out for Carolina, but the puck goes to the far wing. Brandon Carlo gets there, and with that long reach and the long stick, it was poked out at center. The other thing on his stick, if you notice, the blade has got to be the absolute maximum that you can have on a stick. Here's Raliegh back of the net. Marner trying to center, and it went off a skate, comes back to the point. Carlo's shot deflects wide of the goal into the near corner, and it's going to go off the dasher board and up into the screen.
It's Greg Ludwig's shin pads.
Shin pads.
Yeah.
They have to be in the Hall of Fame.
You know what? It is funny. I mean, watching the shots on goal clock in this game, is it not like watching the stock market in the last week or so?
Prefer not to. Thanks very much for bringing it up, though.
Yeah. But it's 12-9 now, Carolina. And we thought...
But it can't... Well, again, you got to go at shot attempts. The Hurricanes get a lot of pucks towards the net. That's the whole modus operandi now.
Yeah, but they had 14 in the first period. They got 12 now with 6 minutes left in the second.
Right, I didn't say the mathematics was really good. It is down in the southern United States, you know. Brought out at center ice now by Tavares, up on the left wing and across the line. Drop pass for Morgan Raliegh. 2 assists on the game, and a shot is gloved by Anderson and held on. You know what they say about the education in Mississippi?
No.
Thank God there's Louisiana. Anyway, that's another story for another time. The Leafs have a 2-0 lead over the Carolina Hurricanes.
You're more of a history buff than I.
Well, I am, yes. Well, it's just the quality of education, I think, is the point that they were making.
Shots on goal. Buffalo out shooting Tampa 6-1. Scoreless there. Any combination that has the Leafs gain a point, and they will clinch first place in the division.
And looking more and more and more like a first-round matchup with the Ottawa Senators, right?
Yep. There's obviously still a way that Ottawa could catch Florida, and they flip-flop.
Bouncing puck in the center ice area. Carolina get to the line and in. Roslovic's pass on the left wing deflects wide of the Leaf goal. Roslovic back to the point, and that skipped by the defenseman Walker and goes all the way back into Carolina territory. Played down into the Toronto end, and an icing call is coming with 6:01 to go in the second period. And the Maple Leafs have really used the rope-a-dope effectively well.
But these are important games where, you look at it, we're obviously the second of back-to-backs, less than 24 hours in the turnaround, 22 hours between starts. And it's a game you got to gut out, right? And even though there have been a lot of shot attempts, too much time in your own zone, they haven't given up a tremendous amount of A1 scoring chances.
39 shot attempts for the Hurricanes, 19 for the Maple Leafs, but 2 of those have gotten in behind Frederik Andersen. And it is a 2-0 Toronto lead. Marner in across the line for Nyes, and he couldn't control it with his skate, and then Matthews couldn't quite reach it either. Hurricanes get back to the Toronto blue line and dump it in. Myers takes a hit up against the boards, and a good one there by Svechnikov. The puck around back of the net. Myers attempts to return the favor and buries Svechnikov in the corner. And now they continue to battle as it comes out. I think Svechnikov got the last whack in on a shot behind the legs. Back down into the offensive zone for the Leafs. Matthews couldn't get it in front. Robertson into the forecheck as well as Matthews is trying to get to the bench. Cleared on the backhand to center, and in on the left wing come the Hurricanes. Overskating the puck was Taylor Hall. Around back of the net it goes. Hurricanes get it back to the point. Chatfield goes D to D on the left wing side. Played down into along the half boards. Looking back to the point for Orlov, who gets the shot away. That deflected wide. Chatfield is pinched to keep it in. Puck in along the boards and now back of the net for Svechnikov. Svechnikov ridden to the boards then by McMahon, but the puck is still in the Toronto end, and McMahon gets a lead pass, and he's able to bring it out. He's going to get it in over the line. And a penalty coming here against Carolina. We could hear the booing, even though we couldn't see the referee. And a tripping call is coming here against the Hurricanes.
I think this Taylor Hall is going to go. I think this might be a little weak. I think it might be off. Was it Pontus Holmberg that was trying to spin out? Yeah, Svechnikov just got his skates into the blades, but it looked like more 2 guys trying to play the puck at the same time, but Carolina's going to get nailed for it.
Back with the power play, 2-0 Toronto. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan, and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
When you get a Subaru with symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive and class-leading safety included, it's like you also get a Subaru that comes with your very own golf club holder, stadium parking navigator, a basketball team transporter, a remote cottage finder, a beaver spotter, a coach hauler, bear country guide, a family road trip carrier, a muddy road controller, extreme wind stabilizer, plus a... And we're out of time. Subaru is the multi-tool that masters every unpredictable weather condition. Visit your local Subaru dealer for great lease and finance options.
Breaking news coming in from Bet365. Must be 19 or older. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit connectsontario.ca.
The 2025 Honda Civic Hybrid 2.0. Redefine your drive with the 2025 Civic Hybrid. Visit your Ontario Honda dealer and test drive yours today.
You're listening to Toronto Maple Leafs hockey.
Got it into the slot now for Nyes, who scores! scores!
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
Leafs on the power play, but Carolina win the draw. Burns gets it in over the line. Backhand pass out of the reach of Burns has deflected to the far side, and Don Tavares has it now, and the Leafs are organizing in their own end. Marner starts out. Marner to center. Looks to drop back. Then swings it back and finds Nylander. Nylander to the line and in, but in traffic as it's dumped high into the corner and around back of the net. Tavares couldn't slow it up enough. Nylander unable to keep it in, and it's back out into the center ice area. Nyes skates to the loose puck and will play it deeper in his own zone. Nyes leaving it for Marner. Marner starts out slowly and thinks about dropping and does. And Matthews will come through neutral ice. Hits the line with a pass in for Tavares. That was broken up. And down the ice it'll go. Minute 8 left in the power play. Wall tucking it around the boards to find Marner. Marner comes to center. Marner hits the blue line and in. Trying to work it in along the boards. Still with it into the corner. Tavares gives it back to him. Marner at the half board. Saucers it back for Tavares. Tavares back to the point. Unable to shoot it was Marner. Got it again. Down into the corner now. Matthews looking in front. Matthews still with it, but not at a shooting angle. Down to the near side. Willie doesn't shoot it. Back to Marner. He'll shoot it, but it's into the glove of Anderson. And an easy catch for a stoppage of play with 36 seconds left in the power play.
Well, Mitch Marner picked up the second assist on the Austin Matthews goal. That gets him to 99 for the second time in his career. 2 years ago, he hit the 99-point mark. Year before that, he was 21-22. He had 97. Hit the 97, though, Joe, in 72 games. So Marner looking for that milestone point to get to 100.
Leafs control the face-off. Robertson taken to the boards, has it in his skates, continues to battle, and the puck is dug free, and now here are the Hurricanes breaking in over the line with one man back. Oh, and a good stick there by Domi. Deflected it away from Dmitry Orlov, who had jumped into the rush. Final seconds ticking down as Bobby McMahon carries into the zone on the left wing. Goes into the corner, now around back of the net. Got it back to the point. Here's Domi walking the line. Near side for Raliegh. Back to Domi. Domi holds into the slot. Shot coming from McMahon. And a save made by Anderson. There was a juicy rebound, but the Leafs couldn't corral it quickly enough to deliver it to the net. Leafs keep it in as the penalty expires. Raliegh sending it high into the corner. Orlov will punch it up on the boards. And Morrow will get it to the line, but not out. Lawton helped out there along the boards by Yarncrook. Gets it down in around back of the net. Lawton couldn't come up with it, and it's played to center ice. Lorenz unable to trap it either. Lorenz has it go off a stick. Brought to the line, and Lorenz goes back to retrieve it, and he'll play it off on the near boards. And here's Benoit overskating the puck. He has to go back. He'll try Tanev on the far side, and Chris Tanev this time got it ahead, and the Leafs get it down into the offensive end. Carrier playing it out with a minute and a half to go in the period, and an icing coming here against Carolina. The Leafs 2, Carolina no score. With a minute 30 to go in the second period. The Leafs have come into this game on a bit of a heater. 10-2-1 in their last 13 games.
And Joe, as much as we're talking about how the Leafs have held on, Carolina's had a grand total of one shot here in the second period. We got the Leafs out shooting them 7-1. 12-11 overall.
Marner drops. Into the corner goes Mermis. He works the boards to the far side to get it back to the blue line, but had it intercepted. Here are the Hurricanes in across the line. Stankoven with a shot that went high over top of the goal. Carlo looks to play it up on the wing. Matthews lifted a stick but didn't get it past Burns, who sends it to the side of the goal. That took a funny carom off the end boards that almost handcuffed. Who's playing center on this fourth line with Yarncrook and Lorenz. As the Leafs control in their own zone with a lead pass out at center that was intercepted and sent back into the Toronto end. Lawton carries around back of the net. Got it airmailed but not out. Stolen back for the Leafs by Lorenz. He had it knocked off his stick as it comes to center and then is quickly shot right back in again. Tanev uses the net as a bit of a shield. Played it off a stick but didn't get it out. Kept alive here by Carolina to the left wing side. A shot knocked down and smothered by Wall again, right out at the top of the crease on a wrist shot taken there by Sebastian Aho.
Now the Leafs or Carolina's trying to do what the Leafs did in the first period. With few shots on goal and then try to bang one in late. And this time, this was about eye high when Wall went down on the butterfly. He was able to knock it down with his catching glove and have a drop in front of him. With a great job by Tanev taking about Slavin right in front of the net for a rebound.
Willie Nylander starts away with room on the right wing. He gets to the line and in on his backhand. Doesn't shoot it. Goes around back of the net, though. Drops it off. Coming out in front of the net. The Leafs with a shot. And that was stopped as Holmberg had the right pad of Anderson get in the way of a nice feed by Nylander. Leafs trying to keep it in as the horn goes to end the period. A better period for the Leafs territorially. And they add to their lead on a goal by Matthews from Raliegh and Marner after Holmberg from Raliegh and Carlo opened the scoring in the first period, and they have a 2-0 lead after 40 minutes.
Yeah, this game has really had, I mean, this is sort of the opposite of the game the Leafs had in Tampa Wednesday, right, where it was high pace, a lot of opportunities from both sides. This one, you know, the Leafs have really done a great job of playing the score. Of course, the score didn't change till the final minute of the first period, but I thought that there in the second, 2 shots on goal for Carolina. The Leafs haven't given up a lot, even though they've been spending more time in their own zone than they have in the offensive zone. But they haven't given up anything where you say, boy, guy was wide open, or it was an odd man rush. They've done a really good job of just clogging up the middle of the ice.
Joseph Wall handled a puck there the last minute or so. Did he have 2 or 3 shots? I thought so, right? Blocked, right? Jumped on it a couple of times.
That was off the backboards.
Yeah, but the other one. So what they have now is 1 shot in the period.
Yeah, I think it's 2 now.
Oh, was it 2? Was it 11?
That last one
they lost 2, and then they went, so they came back. This is worse than trying to score the Masters.
It's rebounding.
All right. Well, we'll ship it off to Ailish Forfar and Justin Cuthbert. Maybe their mathematics, or at least their computers, work better as far as figuring out shots on goal. But the Leafs have a 2-0 lead. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan, and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
NHL Morning Skate.
December 15th, Vancouver Canucks were in the playoffs. And this is when they had that big controversy going on. So they had to do something about it. And they did do something about it. Well, now they're not in the playoffs. You know what? They're not even really close anymore. This is the most absurd season falling apart. The most disappointing team this season of the 32 are the Vancouver Canucks.
NHL Morning Skate with Scott Laughlin and Gord Stellick. Weekdays 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app. The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind, wrist the line, and walks in, put it between his legs, shoots it, score!
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM. We deliver the NHL.
And I just wonder, Berkey, what your thoughts are on the Capitals. They are Exhibit A as to why a retool can work.
Yes, but it's early. Haven't had a playoff run yet. A lot of people taking bows right now that shouldn't be. I really like this coach. I think Chris Patrick, the GM, has done a real nice job. It is a retool, right? And the goaltending's been spectacular, but let's see. Don't pick out a parade route yet, boys.
Sirius XM, NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91.
Right side to Wilson, centered up. Ovechkin has it, he scores! He scores! Alex Ovechkin scores 895! There's a new goal-scoring champion, and his name is Alexander Ovechkin! He has done it!
Congratulations to Alexander Ovechkin. Welcome to Hockey.
There you go. Congratulations to Alexander Ovechkin. But more importantly, congratulations to our Toronto Maple Leafs up 2-0 at the end of the second period. I love it. Absolutely beautiful. Great to see everybody here in the chat. And we have a special announcement to make here in the second intermission. A huge thank you, a cheers without a TFC cup, because the new stuff's on its way. Big cheers to Maggie Gaming, whether it's Coke, water, anything, whatever. Cheers, big ups to Maggie. Awesome dude. And hey, Christine in the house, I love it. There you go. So little bit of a backstory here. I just put the link out in the chat and pinned it to the top. Yeah, we just have a new Discord in the house. I'm putting it through again. So Maggie Gaming, you guys all know him here in the chat. He has been around here with us for, probably, I would say, 2 years, 3 years, Maggie. Maggie's been around for a long time, a real OG of the channel here, and we've been talking on Discord for probably over 2 years. And so Maggie officially, we've been talking about doing a Discord, and he started it up. Today it is ready to go for us to send the link out. So please, you see the link that is going through the chat, insiders. Head out there and check out the Discord. Get on there, chat it up. We're going to have conversation. Hey, there's the cat in the background. I love it when the cat shows up in the background. But we can continue the conversation over there on Discord all the time, whenever. Turn your notifications on, off, whatever. He's doing all kinds of stuff with bots and things. The young generation gets that. I don't get that. So thank you. Big ups to Maggie. Thank you, man, for that. And if you guys have not done so already, please go over and check out Maggie's channel. He's verified on YouTube. How cool is that? He messaged me the other day on Discord and was like, man, Mike, check this out. Like, what? He's like, I'm verified. Whoa, that's awesome. Great news. Congratulations, Maggie does Roblox gaming over there. So please go over and check it out when you get a chance. And come join our Discord. We'll pump that link through a few more times. Download the app on your phone. And let's talk about it after the game. Let's talk about whatever happens here, because we might just be Atlantic Division champions if things go right tonight. Now let's take it back to the intermission. Click that link that's rolling through there. I'm going to put it through there one more time. And great to see everybody here in the chat. CK, H2O Field, Brad Smith. There's Carmen, Jeff Mitterling, Brett S, Stefan, Rod Bottomley. This good plan would be, Mike, to rent a bus and pick up all of us on the way to Sudbury. You know what? I think we ought to do it one day. I think that would be fun. We got to plan some kind of huge party here. I had some big plans, but you know what? It's tough when you're a dad of four and you're always traveling from this event to that event with the kids. Anyways, there you go, Mike's party bus. I love it. All right, guys, we'll see you in a bit. Cheers.
From the Carolina Hurricanes, who are locked into 2 seed and know exactly who they're playing and just want to be healthy just like the Leafs. But I think that's fairly impressive and not necessarily something the Leafs have done unbelievably well. Like they're kind of doing, or they've kind of had what Montreal did, at least to start the game last night, but the Leafs on the other side of it tonight. But then they kind of settled in the back half of that period, and Carolina got barely anything offensively in the back half of that period, and the Maple Leafs kind of closed the gap despite being, outshot and out-attempted in the period or in the game so far. But it just feels like the Leafs have been able to hang no matter the opponent in a lot of ways. And this Carolina team, again, this isn't stakes
I'm pretty
galore
sure they're
here.
locked into everything that they need to be locked into.
Exactly.
Right?
And the Leafs aren't, but you can kind of, what we're trying to figure out what kind of game this is going to be, given that Leafs played last night and they're trying to manage the situation to the best they can. But they're kind of rope-a-doping a little bit to at a good degree, and now it's kind of turning as they get out of the first period and the first half of the game. They've settled in and now kind of taking control of it.
Yeah, I don't care who it is or when it is. Holding a team to 2 shots in one period is pretty impressive.
And Bonesy was complaining a little bit about the shot, so maybe the shot counter, so maybe it's not
I'm looking
perfect.
on NHL Game Center. It says 2 shots for Carolina.
There you go.
We'll see if they update it. But yeah, so Carolina's 13 on the night and Toronto has 12. But I just think that playing a little bit, they're playing some strong defensive structure. I know they don't have their full defensive roster tonight with the Leafs. They got Mermis in. But I think it's just waiting. You're just playing smart hockey at this point, trying to get through this game, trying to get the 2 points, and you're almost close to clinching. I just got to see what Tampa Bay has to do tonight. And maybe the Leafs will be top of the Atlantic. It was a really nice goal by Austin Matthews and Morgan Raliegh. Just been a good game for Morgan Raliegh. He's got 2 assists tonight, primary assists. And the passing play with Matthews, just like as pretty as you can draw it up, a tic-tac-toe, back and forth between them. And that's Matthews' 31st on the season and his 399th career goal. So there's another big milestone on the horizon.
Maybe Morgan Raliegh heating up just a little bit. It'll be 5 assists now in the 6th game in April for him. He had just 4 assists the entire month of March, and it felt like they played every other night in March. So, we've liked the game partly because we like the Brandon Carlo pairing. But maybe some of that offense is coming in, and that give and go with Matthews was like peak Morgan Raliegh, where it's just that little extra, that little bit of offensive talent that can create a window, and he certainly did for Matthews, getting what could be well, at least the goal that brings him closer to that milestone. And maybe we would expect him to have that by now, given the expectations coming into the season for Austin Matthews, but maybe he hits 400 regardless.
Let's do one quick thing before we take a break. We're going to try to time it for an important putt from Rory McIlroy on the 18th hole. You had talked about a bunch of reasons why you're a bit more optimistic, or reasons to be optimistic for the Maple Leafs this postseason. Is one of them Matthews having the ability to just turn it on, hopefully?
No, I wouldn't say that's like, I feel like there's a little bit of mental gymnastics there. I think the thing that's like more applicable is that Marner, Nylander, Tavares, I think this is the best they've ever played at the same time. Like in Tavares' best year, Nylander was still establishing himself. Marner was great. That partnership was the story of the season. But it just doesn't feel like all three have been great together, and it's come in a down season for Matthews. And I suppose you could look at it and be like, okay, if Matthews gets it going, like that's as powerful as the core four could ever be. But we've seen some more from Matthews, but are we going to see that at the most crucial time? I think you could say that certainly about the core four, whether or not they're going to be like the other three, whether they're going to be as good as they've been. But Matthews being able to take over games, we haven't seen it all year. So just like assuming it'll happen at the most ideal time, I don't know. Maybe we're making a bit of a leap there, but certainly he has more to give, and that could be considered a benefit going into the playoffs.
I think that's kind of the spin I was looking for, is like, this hasn't been his best season, but you don't know. Maybe he's holding 20%, 10% to be ready for playoffs. Feels like he's been battling something all year, but when the postseason comes, it's a whole different game. We'll take a quick break. We'll come back with the Out-of-Town Scoreboard, get you set for the third period. You're listening to Most Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan, and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
From the biggest stadiums to the coziest holes in the wall. From house parties to porch hangs to pride celebrations. From your favorite fuzz shop to your local Indian spot. From noodle bars to sports bars to salsa bars. There's a Molson with your name on it. Canadian Ultra XL. Molson. Everyone in. Must be legal drinking age.
The Stanley Cup Playoffs Bracket Challenge presented by Skip is back.
Oh, yeah, baby.
And now it's time to take your shot. Face off against family and friends. And see if you can predict this year's playoffs.
McDavid shoots and scores.
Can you pick the perfect bracket and claim the ultimate prize? A trip to a 2025-26 NHL event. Sign up today for a chance to win exclusive prizes at NHL.com/bracket.
Breaking news coming in from Bet365, and it's no surprise. Same game parlay from Bet365 just keeps getting better.
Well, it's even.
What's up, insiders? All right. So we've got a few more minutes here left of the second intermission. Come on, Buzz. We got to finish this thing off, and then we'll just cheer on Buffalo the rest of the night. I can't believe I'm saying that. But, yeah, Andrew, send me a message somehow. Get in touch with me because I'm working on some stuff right now with the merch. And I need to figure some things out because, yeah, anyways, not going to get into it here. But I love it. Thank you guys for hanging out with us so far tonight. Lots of fun here in the chat. Miss V in the chat. Cheers to Miss V holding it down. I love it. Rick Smith as well. Good to see you, Rick. There's Josh Bauma in the house as well. Let's go. I don't know how that got through there. Oh, you know what? Maybe it got through because it's on my end. There's the name that we know and recognize now. Aside, Joffrey, what's up? I love it. Cheers. Don't forget, hit that like button like Lisa Aiello says. Lisa, you are a rock star in the chat. Thank you for all of your help with the Bracket Mania campaign and everything you do here on TSI. To all the mods, Rod, Bottomley, Carmen, I love it. Here we go with the wrench. Be careful, everybody. Be careful of the wrench. It's coming back out in the playoff pulse. We're going to have a lot of stuff coming up. I'm exhausted, guys. I've been doing a lot of work to get ready for this playoff pulse. There's Brian Burns in the house as well. lots of streams. As you see, it's, we've been going. Yesterday was 8 hours or so straight. Today, 9 or 10. It doesn't stop here on TSI, but we're doing big things. We're making a big difference in our Toronto community with SickKids Hospital, and this playoff pulse is going to be absolutely massive because we are going to pass 100,000 subscribers at some point during that time. It's coming. We know it's coming. Come on. We have the best community in the world. We need the help in the chats and pushing out our links, sharing this stuff out, dropping into the Discord, that kind of stuff. Let's get back to the hockey. Go, Leafs, go. Let's get the chant started. Go, Leafs, go. Go, Leafs, go. Go, Leafs, go. We got to switch hats here. Go, Leafs, go. Go, Leafs, go. I love it. Brandy Gale with the 100K emojis. I love it, Brandy. Thank you so much. All right, let's go, guys and girls. Let's go. Let's have some fun. Fire up that chat. We'll see you back in there. Go, Leafs, go.
Let's go to the NHL. 1-0. The Islanders beat the Devils. Senators got a 4-3 victory over the Flyers in overtime. Bruins win 4-1 over the Penguins. Sabres up 2-1 on the Lightning, so that one is meaningful for the Toronto Maple Leafs here. Blue Jackets and Capitals tied at 1 after 1, and still to come tonight. Edmonton and Winnipeg, San Jose and Calgary, and Colorado and Anaheim.
I don't even know how we play golf. Like, why we do this to ourselves. It's sickening.
That was tough.
That was a hard watch.
I thought it was actually perfect because, Rory's greatest moment at the Masters so far was in the bunker on 18. And he was in the bunker on 18, left it about 5 feet short,
Justin
it
Rose.
seemed. And he didn't really burn the edge. He kind of just missed it.
All right. It's going to be an intense third period and playoff. Let's take a break. Joe Bowen and Jim Ralph have the call of the third period next. There's a 2-0 lead for the Maple Leafs after 40 minutes against Carolina Hurricanes. You're listening to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590, the Fan of the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
As a sports fan, I just want the games. Right now, it's practically a full-time job to figure out which bundle I need. But with the SiriusXM app, it's done the bundling for me.
It is gone, a grand slam!
I don't have to go anywhere else to get every MLB, NFL, NBA, and NHL game. When there's a college game on, I just search for the school on the SiriusXM app.
Holy smokes, what a play!
With the all-access plan in the SiriusXM app, I've got the sports world in the palm of my hand.
To the end zone, touchdown!
No bundle required.
NHL Morning Skate.
December 15th, Vancouver Canucks were in the playoffs. And this is when they had that big controversy going on. So they had to do something about it. And they did do something about it. Well, now they're not in the playoffs. You know what? They're not even really close anymore. This is the most absurd season falling apart. The most disappointing team this season of the 32 are the Vancouver Canucks.
NHL Morning Skate with Scott Laughlin and Gord Stella. Weekdays 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app. The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
General manager of the Winnipeg Jets, Kevin Cheveldayoff. What would finishing first overall mean to the organization, Kevin?
Well, I think anytime that, you can finish in an area where you're getting recognized, it's special. But again, the important thing for us is process. Is when we buy into playing the way we need to play, then, we feel comfortable that we'll win more games than not. And then you let the chips fall where they may.
The Power Play. Weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app. SiriusXM NHL Network Radio puts you on the ice.
If the Rangers get into the playoffs, Igor Shesterkin should win the Hart Trophy because what is going on in front of him is an absolute miracle. They're within a mile of this playoff run.
The reason you are inconsistent is because you're consistently inconsistent. That's why they are not Tampa, Florida, Washington. I'm not buying it. What's that song? I won't be fooled again.
SiriusXM NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91.
Hey, Jim Rome here. What's cracking?
Hi.
Hope you're enjoying the game. And when you're not taking in a game, find us on Sirius Channel 161, XM Channel 206. In fact, we'll be there every weekday afternoon, 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern Time. If you've got something.
Joffrey, the power of art. Hit me up, man. Let me know the Fiverr handle. And big shout out to Stack Art Code on Fiverr. All of this great work that you see here. There it is as it rolls through the chat. I've got to screenshot that. I love it. I'll get in touch with you, man. But yeah, we got to go hard tonight and finish this off. Leafs fans, the Hurricanes are not going to go lightly. We have to finish this strong. Who do you think gets the next goal for the Leafs? I think Matthews gets another one. I'm going Austin Matthews for the next goal for the Buds to put this thing away. What do you think, ladies and gentlemen? What do you think? Let us know in the chat. Go Leafs, go. Big third period ahead. Willie says Andrew Hurd. Nyes says Popo from Mongolia. I love it. Morgan Fay. Cheers, Morgan. Says number 16, Mitchell Marner. Mr. OT winner last night. I love it. Johan says Nyes as well. Christine with Nylander. Miss V says Maddie. Nice pick. There you go. Brad says Mitch for 100, baby. I love it. Shield there for real. Let's get it. Discord, here we come. Love it. Kudos, Maggie. Yes, M-A-G-I. Maggie. M-A-G-I Gaming. It's awesome. Oh, God. Why is this radio not working tonight? Dude, Joe and Jim have been having issues, and so have this Sportsnet broadcast. We've got to get Joe and Jim in the arena for the playoffs. Let's talk about it after the game.
Marner in over the line, stops up at the far half boards, trying to shield the puck, played it back at the net for Tavares. He didn't reach it. Domi's able to cut it off. Back for Tavares. Tavares tried to get a shot away, but it was knocked off his stick. Nylander in pursuit. Puck comes back to the blue line. Benoit to Domi, a pass in front, they score! Nylander on a perfect feed from Max Domi. And the Leafs, who aren't getting a lot of shots on Anderson, are getting more than a few of them behind them.
Starts, Joe, as Simon Benoit makes a great play just to keep it in. Inside the blue line, middle of the ice. And carries it towards the Carolina net, and then right away, a little backhand pass to Max Domi in the right wing circle, and Domi a one-touch pass to the front of the net where Nylander just has to redirect it past the right pad of Freddie Anderson. He was off to the far side, Anderson's right, and an important goal for the Leafs to go up 3-0, because you just had the feeling that if Carolina could make it 2-1, the crowd would get back into this game and a little more energy for the Hurricanes.
Leafs get it out at center. Domi getting it in over the line. Willie's 45th goal of the season. It's going to be a tough sled to get to 50 this year, but with 2 games left, and the Leafs really not at liberty to bring a lot of people up, to give people rest here because of the salary cap implications. So Buffalo on Tuesday and home against Detroit on Thursday night. And although it hasn't been announced, I think more and more it's looking like a Sunday start to the postseason for the Maple Leafs. There's a shot whistled just wide of the net from Bobby McMahon. Kept in at the far point by Mermis. Round on the boards on the near side. McMahon gets it down into the corner, and back of the net as Jankowski is getting it out and down into the Toronto zone. Icing waved off, and Brandon Carlo will have to go back and play it. Got it up on the wing. McMahon couldn't get it free. Puck is still free, and now into the corner again for Carlo. Kicked along back of the net. Mermis couldn't help him out. Carlo works against the boards, and the Leafs still trying to come away with it with Pontus Holmberg up on the wing for Bobby McMahon, and he's able to skate it out at center, and he'll get to the red line and shoot it in as the Leafs are trying to get a change going. 1 in the first, 1 in the second, now another in the third, and the Leafs have a 3-0 lead. Played down into the Toronto zone. Yost got it out into the slot area, but it is picked off by the Maple Leafs and quickly played by Yarncrook off Lorenz. Lorenz tries to drive the net, but the puck wouldn't come with him. He works it back along the boards now for Scotty Lawton. In front of the goal, it comes a pass in front and a shot stopped by Anderson off the stick of Lorenz on a nice play made there by Chris Tanev. Tanev to center. He'll play it deep into Carolina territory, and now the Hurricanes bring it out with Jordan Staal. His shot deflects wide. Rebound carried into the corner by Tanev. Matthews there to help out. Puck comes free, and the Carolina Hurricanes get it back to the point. Long shot goes wide, and then a penalty coming to Toronto as another shot is rolled in towards Wall. That's knocked back of the net. Tanev got his man, but the Hurricanes continue to press here with the extra attacker on the ice as it's touched by Marner, and a tripping call is going to come against the Maple Leafs to send the Carolina Hurricanes to their second power play. Penalty kill brought to you by your Ontario Honda dealers. Get home ice advantage on every drive with the new Civic Hybrid. Proudly built in Ontario. Visit your Ontario Honda dealers today.
This is 2 tripping penalties for Chris Tanev. So the Leafs are going to be short for 4 minutes. As Tanev, with the arm was up in the air, Tanev then ended up taking Stahl down, going for the loose puck in behind her. Is the first one a high stick?
I think the first one might be a high stick, Jim.
And the second one is going to be a tripping call as he got Stahl with the high stick, and then Eric Robertson going for the puck behind the net, trips over the stick of Chris Tanev, and yeah, it's a double minor. You do not see these often, do you?
No. They usually put the whistle away after the arm goes up. The draw won by Carolina. Burns to the near side. Played in along the boards by Jarvis. Back to Burns. One-timer coming from the far side. Stopped by Wall. And the rebound was pushed wide of the net. Hall gets it back to the point. Burns back to Taylor Hall. Saucered back to Burns. Over on the near side, it comes to Jarvis. Jarvis down into the corner. Trying to find a man in front of the net. As Blake was there, it comes to the near side, and a pass just out of the reach of Sebastian Aho. Now to Jarvis, back to the point. They play catch with it. Jarvis has it again at the top of the circles. Works it down into the left wing corner. Back to Jarvis on the near half board. Jarvis back to the point. Wrist shot fake. Comes to Jarvis. Great save made there by Wall. And the rebound was cleared into the corner. Leafs doing a great job of tightening the box. To the near side again. Jarvis with it once more. Works into the corner. Slid it back to the blue line, but Burns wasn't anticipating that. And it goes all the way back into Carolina territory.
Boy, at least needed a line change there, too.
2:54 left to go in the double minor. Through center is Yost. In on the left wing, and a shot pad save off the stick of Svechnikov, and Wall is able to corral a loose puck that came to the side of the net and stop play with 14:27 left in the third. And the Leafs a man short for 4 minutes here with Tanev in the penalty box.
I mean, Joseph Wall, he moved quickly from his left to his right and just did get a piece of the Seth Jarvis shot. Wall has come up with some great shots. Morgan Riley's had a great night as well. 2 assists in the first 2 goals. But some shot blocks that have been very important.
Draw scrum, but controlled by Carolina. They work the boards on the far side, looking for Roslovic into the slot as it comes back to the blue line. Now to Roslovic on the left half boards. Back to the point once more. Turning with it is Scott Morrow. Back to Roslovic. Cross ice, they'll try it back. Intercepted by the Leafs. A breakaway chance for Scotty Lawton, who's in with a slap shot. And he hit the goal post. Okay, I can't recall ever seeing that in the last little while. He wound up and hammered it from the hash marks and wired it off the goal post. Played back to the point. Morrow to the far side. A shot's going to carry him and come all the way out into the center ice area.
And he hit the post so hard. The puck only bounced about a foot from the post where it hit.
Here's the Hurricanes. A one-timer stopped by Wall. Rebound goes around back of the net. Did Wall get to his glove there on a great save off of Roslovic coming off on the near boards?
Yeah, he got his blocker on that.
What a save that was. Down into the corner, Roslovic plays it back along the boards, and pinching down with it is Burns. Burns plays it back to the point. Yost, minute 25 to go in the second penalty. Down into the corner, centering pass back to Burns. One-timer on the far side, caught by Joseph Wall, who is, if nothing else, making it a statement to the coaching staff. Don't worry, boys. Whoever you put in this net in game 1 is going to do the job. And it was Wall who pushed the series last year.
Yeah, it comes in when they were down 3-1, won 2 games, and then was unable to go for game 7. But, a couple of outstanding saves here with the Leafs shorthand and tried to hold on to their 3-0 lead. Wall only faced 2 shots in the second period, 8 already in the first 7 minutes of the third.
Shot from the point by Burns was blocked. It goes into the far corner. Hall, Taylor Hall back to Burns. Burns to the near side. Jarvis holding at the top of the circle, gets it down low, trying to jam it out in front of the net was Jackson Blake, but that was broken up, and the Leafs have iced the puck with 54 seconds left to go on the power play, and the Leafs came very close to making it 4-0 when Scott Lawton hammered the puck off of the goalpost. Back come the Hurricanes to get into the Toronto zone. The Leafs' best defender is in the penalty box for the 4 minutes. Played around the boards near side. Hall tries to hang on to it. Works in, drops the puck. Swept to the line, but not out. Burns plays it back. Here's Jarvis working along the near half boards. Back to Burns. Touch pass. Gets back to Burns. Now to Jarvis. One-timer coming on the other side. They score. Joseph Wall couldn't get over there in time. And I think it's Sebastian Aho who got the shot away to get Carolina on the board on the power play. It's 3-1.
Just 18 seconds left in the double minor, and I think Wall, Joe, gets a huge chunk of this with his catching hand. But the force of the shot bends the glove, and it drops into the net. But I think he gets over and he gets set, and just off his glove and in, and you can see him stare at the glove after it hits the net.
Yeah. He got a hunk of it, but not enough of it. 7:58 the time of the goal on the power play for Carolina. So after a long siege, the Leafs were unable to close the deal. And now it's a 2-goal game again. Bounced puck to center. Tanev plays it off to Domi. Domi tipping for Tavares. Tavares works it down into the corner. Tried to find Domi along the boards. Domi gets it around back of the net. Domi trying to force it wide for Nylander. Nylander can't keep it in, but Domi does. At the blue line, a pass in there by Tavares looking for Nylander, but it was blocked. Brought back by Carolina. They'll get to the line and in. Tanev trying to play it around back of the net. Runs into traffic, but gets Tavares to help. And his backhand won't clear. Kept in with a pass in front. Redirected on goal. That was stopped by Joseph Wall. Leafs Nylander getting it out at center for Tavares, and he's going to send it in and get a change of players going. Aho from Jarvis and Burns, the play that gets the Carolina Hurricanes on the board. So the Leafs have some work to do. 10:52 to play in the third period. Played at center ice and in over the line and down into the corner around a broken stick. Raliegh got it along the boards. Myers pumped it up on the wall. McMahon didn't see it. It's played into the slot area, but the Leafs get there, and an alley-oop pass gets ahead for McMahon. McMahon down into the corner. Played around back of the net for Pontus Holmberg. Holmberg curling out on his forehand. Oh, he had McMahon there if he could have made the pass. He gets it again. Now back almost the same spot. Gets it back to the point this time. Brandon Carlo can do no better than to play it back of the net. McMahon curling out of the corner. Could have felt that tug there and gone down and maybe gotten a penalty. Now McMahon working around back of the net, back out in front, and a backhand was stopped by Anderson. Then a shot by Robertson was stopped by Anderson. Leafs in the zone for a half minute or so to gain some pressure, and it'll be brought back into the Toronto end, and Dakota Mermis is there with Brandon Carlo. Played ahead at center for Matthews. Matthews to the line. Nifty little move. Had it knocked off his stick into the corner. Played it around the boards, and Leafs were changing their defense, so no one there to keep the puck in. And here's Carolina back to the attack. Nice play by Tanev to knock the puck off his stick, and now he has to go back of the goal to free it up for Benoit, who plays it out into the center ice area. Leafs after a loose puck. Matthews failed to get to it. Neither could Marner. Back come the Hurricanes in over the line into the slot area, and Marner makes a sprawling block. The puck into the corner and around back of the net for Aho. He let it go. It comes back to him back of the net. Fed back into the slot area. It comes back to the point to Slavin. He plays it back. Slavin gets it again, and the shot went wide. Puck into the far corner for Nyes, but it'll come to the point once more. D-to-D pass, left wing side. Slavin with a pass in. Backhanded towards the net. Knocked away there nicely. And Benoit took his man down, much to the chagrin of the Carolina fans in that end of the building. 8:36 to play. Brought right back in again into the Toronto end. Tanev against the boards. Back of the goal. Lawton couldn't get to it. Neither could Nyes, who's been out there for a while. Kept in at the point, sent towards the net. That was deflected into the corner. Tanev rides his man right back to the blue line. It comes over on the near side to Brett Burns. A shot. That was stopped. And back of the net. Leafs still can't control the puck. Hall back to the point once more. Morrow leaves it for Hall. Shot in traffic. Caught by the left hand of Joseph Wall, who will stop play and bring a face-off in the Toronto zone with 8:03 to play in the third period.
And you had Marner, Nyes, and Tanev all out for about a minute 40 there. So pretty important whistle to get from Joseph Wall.
You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Because sometimes the music needs to speak for itself. Calm your commute with the instrumental channels on the Sirius XM app. From smooth jazz and epic orchestras to lo-fi beats and high-energy rock anthems. Find over a dozen instrumental channels available anytime. At home, on your phone, computer, Alexa, TV, or other internet-connected devices.
NHL Morning Skate.
December 15th, Vancouver Canucks were in the playoffs. And this is when they had that big controversy going on. So they had to do something about it. And they did do something about it. Well, now they're not in the playoffs. You know what? They're not even really close anymore. This is the most absurd season falling apart. The most disappointing team this season of the 32 are the Vancouver Canucks.
NHL Morning Skate with Scott Laughlin and Gord Stellick. Weekdays 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app. The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
General manager of the Winnipeg Jets, Kevin Cheveldayoff. What would finishing first overall mean to the organization, Kevin?
Well, I think anytime that, you can finish in an area where you're getting recognized, it's special. But again, the important thing for us is process. Is when we buy into playing the way we need to play, then, we feel comfortable that we'll win more games than not. And then you let the chips fall where they may.
The Power Play, weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
It's soccer's most thrilling league.
Only the Premier League can make you feel like this.
And now every match is on the Sirius XM app.
Can you believe it?
From the title race.
This is remarkable. Keeps this title charge on track, surely.
To the relegation fight.
The impossible may still be possible.
Hear every English Premier League match on Sirius XM FC 157 and the Sirius XM app. Just search for your favorite club.
The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind, wrist the line, and walks in, put it between his legs, shoots it, scores!
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM.
Knocked back of the net into the far corner by Raliegh. That's drawn a crowd. It comes back to the point, kept into the blue line. Hall working the line. Hall works down the right wing boards. The veteran Taylor Hall into the corner. Centering pass comes all the way back towards the blue line. Just kept in. Over on the far side, Burns back to Hall. Wrist shot was well wide of the net. Lorenz getting it airmailed high into the center ice area. That is a real skill. Get the puck elevated enough that it gets out, but not far enough that you end up icing it. And
not far enough one side or another that you're flipping it into the crowd.
No, and Lorenz is very good at that. Raliegh up ahead for Nylander, skipping by one. Nylander in, goes around back of the net. Thought about wrapping it, but lost the handle on it. Plays it down the right wing boards for Tanev to keep in. Now Tavares back of the net. Tavares trying to center. Oh, he had Nylander there, but he was knocked down on the play. Nylander comes out of the scrum with it, though, and it comes in front of the net, but he's unable to come up with it. And Nylander and one of the Hurricanes slashing at one another a little bit as it's played down into the Toronto end. Tanev along the boards in the near corner. Domi gets it out over the line. Shot back in, but it's a delayed offside. In fact, it shot in so well that it cleared the glass and went into the screen. So the face-off will be outside the blue line when we return.
I do like the fact. I don't think we're going to commercial yet, shall we?
No. I guess
now
we
we
are.
are.
Yes, we are. 6:39 to play in the third. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
The 2025 Honda Civic Hybrid is here, and it may sound too good to be true. With a 2-liter 4-cylinder backed by 2 electric motors, giving a combined 200 horsepower, it's our most powerful and fuel-efficient Civic ever. Plus, with an estimated range of over 800 kilometers and available features like a Bose premium sound system, your crew will love it too. Huh, maybe it should be called the Civic 2.0. Redefine your drive with the 2025 Civic Hybrid. Visit your Ontario Honda dealer and test drive yours today.
Breaking news coming in from Bet365. Must be 19 or older. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit connexontario.ca.
When you get a Subaru with symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive and class-leading safety included, it's like you also get a Subaru that comes with your very own golf club holder, stadium parking navigator, a basketball team transporter, a remote cottage finder, a beaver spotter, a coach hauler, bear country guide, a family road trip carrier, a muddy road controller, extreme wind stabilizer, plus a... And we're out of time. Subaru is the multi-tool that masters every unpredictable weather condition. Visit your local Subaru dealer for great lease and finance options.
You're listening to Toronto Maple Leafs hockey.
Domi! That was up the rebound! Scores! Max Domi!
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
Well, the Leafs are in for a wild finish, leading 3-1, but the goes high over top of the Leaf goal. Puck controlled by the Leafs, and they'll chip it out at center for Marner. He just deflected it down to the blue line. Played right back by Carolina and over the line. Batted back out at center by the Maple Leafs. 6:16 to play in the third period. Tampa leading Buffalo now 3-2. And across the line, Orlov sending it around the boards. I thought I saw that on the screen.
Yeah.
Am I wrong?
I'm a little delayed here.
Okay.
Kucherov just
All right.
Yep.
Kucherov, so I wasn't wrong. Thank you. Played around the boards. First time today. And around into the corner. Here are the Leafs trying to cycle the puck and get some zone time. Robertson got knocked down from behind. Robertson digs the puck free. Send it to the net. Juicy rebound off the pad. It comes in front of the goal. And it's knocked wide of the net by Pontus Holmberg. Robertson goes back to the defense with it. Another shot. Big rebound off of Anderson again. Back to the point once more. Trying to get a shot through, and he did. Was Mermis, but it went wide of the net. And Carolina sends it out at center.
Hermes has been solid, isn't he, tonight?
Yes, he's played very, very well. Yep. Anderson's been giving up some juicy rebounds. Leafs keep the puck in the offensive end. Nylander tried to stick handle by one, but it was knocked out at center, but the Leafs have numbers back there to control the puck. Benoit, near side for Chris Tanev. Tanev to center. Bouncing it in. Whoa, that took a hop. Oh, my. That took a hop about a foot in front of Frederik Andersen, and he was kind of bent over with his legs kind of spread, and I thought, woo-hoo-hoo-hoo.
Yeah, I mean, he's fortunate it popped up instead of, took a low hop between the legs. He didn't get down on the butterfly. One thing about Carolina, where they've sort of fallen from being considered one of the favorites for a cup, is I think when you look at the inventory of what's in now, they've got some draft picks out of it, but we'll go through who's in and who they gave up in the process.
Launched high to center ice. And Leafs don't get it into the zone. Hurricanes break it back in over the line. A pass onto the left wing side. Taylor Hall's shot went wide. Rebound far side, and Domi is out. Down the left wing into the zone, top of the circle. Slopped it off into the slot area there for Nylander to the point to Riley. Riley down into the half boards. Domi in the slot, shooting it. And that was blocked. He got the rebound in front of the goal. And they score! Tavares! Max Domi has had himself a game. What a great effort that was, and John Tavares tidies up the garbage and puts a nice big bow on it to take it out to the curb.
Now, does this convince Craig Berube to stick with this combination? Moving Domi up with Tavares and Nylander. He had a great setup on the Nylander goal. Has a great opportunity. It doesn't go. And then, boy, after having the shot blocked, picks it back up and then finds John Tavares out front. And Tavares sort of fans on this, doesn't he, Joe? as it kind of loops past Freddie Anderson. Might have even gone off a Carolina player, but the Leafs back up by 3. In the 2 previous games between these two clubs, Leafs had a 2-0 lead in Carolina, lost 6-3, had a 4-0 lead. Carolina battled back to make it 4-3 before the Leafs had a couple of empty netters, but the Leafs look like they've been able to squash the comeback attempt for now.
Johnny Tavares with his 38th of the season. And an icing call here against Carolina with 3 minutes and 48 seconds left to play. The Leafs will not eclipse their all-time best record for wins, but this would be their 50th of the season and their 104th point.
By the way, going back to Carolina, what they've given up, Natchez, Jack Drury, and Mikko Rantanen. Those are players that they had. They were part of the same deal. And they get back Logan Stankoven and Taylor Hall. So with all due respect to Stankoven and Hall, they do get a couple of first-round picks out of those transactions as well. But that doesn't help you this year.
Leafs in 2021-22 won 54 games. They're in line to win their 50th. They could win 52 if they completed the season victorious with wins in Buffalo and home against Detroit. And they're going to get people back for the postseason. They're certainly going to get Jake McCabe back.
Oliver Ekman-Larsson.
Oliver Ekman-Larsson back.
Most likely Pacioretty.
Pacioretty, yep. Played by Wall back into the corner. Marner just lifting the puck out at center and down into Carolina territory, and Burns plays it around to his defense partner. And Slavin will start up on the left wing. He'll get it to the line. Burns couldn't help out and then shot it in. And around back of the net, it is scooped along by Mermis to get it up on the wing. Now Mermis has to work over a player in the corner as Aho takes it back of the net and gets it back to the blue line. Left wing side, Slavin with a shot in traffic. Blockered away, fought off actually by Joseph Wall. Leafs get it back of the net. And Mermis sends it around on the backhand to get it ahead, but unable to get it out for him was Steven Lorenz. Now the Hurricanes are changing as the Leafs play it off the boards and out at center ice. And one-handed by the Maple Leafs, Steven Lorenz gets it down into the zone. Steven Lorenz is the birthday boy today. Hasn't picked up a point, but a win would be very nice as it's played down into the Toronto end. 2:04 to play third period. The Leafs are leading by 3, and an errant pass will turn into an icing call against Toronto as they will bring it back. Join us on Tuesday night, 7 o'clock start. The Leafs will be in Buffalo. And as always, that arena is filled a lot with Leaf fans, and they'll be in the celebratory mood if the Maple Leafs are in a position to clinch first place in the Atlantic Division. Leafs win the faceoff. Benoit plays it through center, knocked down there by the Hurricanes, who get it back into neutral ice and brought in by Taylor Hall. Drop pass looking for Hall in front of the net. Cleared by Tana very coolly into the corner. It comes back to the near point. Kept in there by Carolina. And the Maple Leafs get it freed up, and a long lead pass looking for Tavares just was out of his reach. Leafs have scored 4 goals as another bouncing puck in on right through the goal crease area in behind Anderson. Going to say they've scored 4 goals on 18 shots.
That was Max Domi almost handed it.
Penalty for tripping coming here to the Maple Leafs with a minute 16 to go. Yost was taken down as he was heading to the front of the Leaf goal. And so this will be the 4th power play opportunity for Carolina. And the penalty kill brought to you by our Ontario Honda dealers. Get home ice advantage on every drive with the new Civic Hybrid, built proudly here in Ontario. Visit your Ontario Honda dealers today.
Interesting to see if Carolina pulls Freddie Anderson.
Carlo gets the penalty. Haven't seen whether they have. Nope, just going with the standard 5. Leafs get it out into the center ice area. And a flip pass gets in on goal and a backhand try. Knocked wide of the net as Steven Lorenz looking for a birthday present there. Minute to go in the game. Hurricanes get across the line and into the corner. Pass deflects back towards the blue line. Kept in and it comes to the near side to Svechnikov. His shot into the chest of Joseph Woll. And he's going to hold on for a face-off in the Toronto end. 49 seconds left to play in the third period. The Leafs 4 and the Carolina Hurricanes 1. Raliegh picks up another assist on the goal by Tavares. So he has a 3-point night moving right along.
Yeah, even the plus-minus has been able to get a little more respectable. He was up in the 20s at one point, minus 21, I think.
Well, playing with Brandon Carlo on a more regular basis has certainly helped.
But we're also seeing it just in his play, how he's handling the puck.
Absolutely.
How he's defending. A lot of block shots tonight.
He's been asked to do less, not be the leader in the rush or jumping into the rush as often under Craig Berube. So it's been an adjustment for Morgan Raliegh, although I'm sure he wouldn't say it has reflected that way. Final seconds ticking down. Pass on the left wing side. Svechnikov tried to get it in front. It was knocked away. Leafs chance to ice the puck, and they do. And that should put this one to bed with 10 seconds remaining in it. One last rush here by Carolina. They'll get across the blue line. Fed in on the right wing, and the shot goes wide, and there is the horn. A workmanlike 4-1 back-to-back for the 16th time this season. And after a first period that they needed to find their legs a little bit, badly outchanced, the last two periods, they were the better hockey team on the ice.
Yeah, and even though there was the push by Carolina, thanks to the double minor by Chris Tanev in the third period, that got Carolina on the board, but the Leafs now, and we talked about when the turning point was for the Leafs to get to this point of the season. It was the game in L.A., which, incidentally, L.A. and Carolina have the best home records in the league. And the Leafs go into Los Angeles, beat the Kings there, and win here in Carolina tonight with a 4-1 victory. That is also the 24th road win for the Leafs this season. They can tie the franchise record with a road win in Buffalo on Tuesday, a record that I do believe it was just last year they were able to set. So I think that was a turning point, the game in L.A., where they started to hunker down and go back to defense first, and that's led to some pretty impressive results.
Carolina was 31-8-1 on home ice before tonight's loss, so that's the 9th time they've lost at home. On the road this year, they're 18-19-4. So your point, very well made and statistically corroborated, I may add. At any rate, the Leafs' next action is in Buffalo on Tuesday night. We hope that you will join us. 7 o'clock start as the Leafs tangle with the Sabres before returning home to host Detroit on Thursday to complete the 82-game regular season schedule. Ailish Farfar and Justin Cuthbert standing by. Joe Bowen and Jim Ralph bidding you good afternoon, or is it evening by now, as the Leafs win it by a score of 4-1. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan, the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
You've been listening to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network. There's a Molson with your name on it.
Find out who will move on to the UEFA Champions League semifinals on Sirius XM FC. Arsenal shocked the world, dominating the defending champions 3-0 in a first-leg masterclass.
What a night for Declan Rice!
But count out Real Madrid at your own peril.
If there's any team that can pull this off, it is the most decorated European side of all time.
Real Madrid, Arsenal, Wednesday at 3 Eastern on Sirius XM.
What's up, insiders? What a win. 4-1. Our buds get it done. The chat's still flying. Everybody's leaving. I gotta clear my throat. Man, we got a poll that just started up. Before you leave, if you're leaving, a good friend of the show, Connor, is live right now for the Columbus Crew and the St. Louis City SC game. As always, we will let the post-game run. We'll listen to Leafs talk and whatever they have. Since it's an early game on a Sunday, I don't know what exactly we're going to have. But let me know if we should send everybody who's remaining over to Connor's live broadcast right now. You can go say hi to him. I'll put the link out in the chat as well. Or should we just leave it as is, scheduled to just return to the Manchester United versus Newcastle United game this morning that we did on Sons of a Pitch Soccer, our sister channel. My channel, But really, True is the guy who's behind all the Manchester United stuff since he's the England guy. But, all right. And it was his birthday yesterday. Happy birthday to True Darcy, my man, True Killer on Discord and X, the professional EAFC video game player that we work with on Sons of a Pitch Soccer Central. And more importantly, he's like a friend to me. Same thing like with Connor. Connor is absolutely amazing. Connor was holding it down on the soccer channel for me during one of the hardest periods of my life just a few years ago. So cheers to Connor. Cheers to all of you here in the chat tonight. Brandy, Rod, Brad, Don Donaldson, the Burninator, Taylor Scott, Stefan, Jeff Mitterling, Miss V, Ange Mo. I love it. Beautiful. And there you go. Brimhawk's birthday too. Is Brimhawk's birthday? Brim, happy birthday to the one, the only Brim. There was I'm going to rework those graphics, Brim. I'm still working on it, man. But things have been setting back. I'm still even having a lot of trouble with the playoff pulse designs and whatnot going through. So we're working on it. Anyways, we'll let the post game run as always. Thank you for hanging out with us. Our Leafs are set, baby. We just got to stay healthy, get ready for the playoffs, and we're rolling. So I love it. We'll see you all on the next one. Tomorrow is just a Blue Jays game here on Toronto Sports Insider. But hey, we're live for every single Blue Jays game. You know what we do here. I don't have to go through the spiel again. Anyways, I'll check the poll there for Connors. There you go. Look at that. 81% say get over to Connor. Sorry, True. We're going to have to miss the last bump there from the Leafs tonight to that video. But man, that Manchester United live was absolutely massive. 1,100 views on that game, a meaningless game for Manchester United, and True doing big things on TikTok. I looked at it, and that was, like, amazing. At SOP True on TikTok, check it out. Kid's going viral right now with his tactics on the game. The saves, the likes, thousands. Followers coming in by the handfuls. It's amazing. But we're going to send you over to Connor because Connor's a boss, man. He a huge help for us. For Toronto Sports Insider. I mean, Toronto Sports Insider probably doesn't exist without some of the help that Connor did back in the days with Sons of a Pitch Soccer. So we're a community, everybody. I mean, this is what it's about. This is a community of sports fans raising money for SickKids Hospital and bringing the world sports and a place to hang out during that sports action. And why not do good with that? I am so blessed beyond belief to have this platform and the ideas that I had over time to create this amazing community, and I couldn't have done it without all of you here in the chat. So thank you to all of you. Please check out our Discord. Please go say hi to Connor, and we'll see you tomorrow night for the Blue Jays game. Go Leafs, go! Great victory! Till Frank Trachtenberg comes on, or maybe early. Maybe I'll just send you over sooner over to Connor just because. Go say hi to Connor.
Welcome back to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590. The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network. It's a 4-1 win for the Maple Leafs against the Carolina Hurricanes, almost being able to officially clinch top spot of the Atlantic. But as we mentioned earlier in the show, waiting to find out about how Tampa Bay does. But that gave a good big 2 points for the Leafs, who were dogs and on a back-to-back and not expected to win tonight.
Yeah, Leafs dealt with that really well. That's a tough game. Going to Raleigh, second night of a back-to-back. I know the Carolina Hurricanes played last night, but it's never easy going there. And to do it on minimal sleep and rest and getting a job done where you're basically over the line here. You're at the 1 yard line winning the Atlantic Division. So Leafs very, very close to accomplishing something meaningful here. We'll see how that helps them in the playoffs, but this is a pretty good victory and something that can take some of the pressure of this week off.
Let's take one last look at the NHL scoreboard presented by Bet365. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 18 plus. Ontario only. Play responsibly. Visit connexontario.ca.
Yeah, we'll start with the game that's most interesting to the Leafs. The Lightning do have that 3-2 lead in the second period, late in the second period over the Buffalo Sabres. So if the Lightning do get the 2 points, Leafs will have to wait. But again, Leafs did their job earlier today. Senators got a 4-3 victory in overtime over the Flyers. Islanders 1-0 winners over the Devils. Bruins got a 4-1 win over the Pittsburgh Penguins. Blue Jackets are up 2-1 over the Capitals about midway through the game. It's 0-0 Oilers and Jets early on. And still to come tonight as we get through the final weekend of the regular season. Sharks and Flames, Avalanche and Ducks.
Our next and final Sportsnet 590, the Fan Molson Leafs hockey broadcast of the regular season, is the final game of the regular season. Thursday night against the Detroit Red Wings will be live at 6:30 for our pregame show with a 7 p.m. puck drop. We will see you then. In the meantime, Leafs Talk with JD Bunkus and Sam McKee is next. Thanks for listening to Sportsnet 590, the Fan, and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Man, that song gets copyrighted every single time. And then I lose my chat. And you know what? TSI Allison just pulled in the driveway. Yes! Leafs win! Blue Jays win in extra innings. Connor's going off over there. Thank you for stopping by over on Connor's there with the link. See you, everybody. Back to the hockey. I'm going to see the love of my life. Mwah! I can't wait to go give her a kiss.
the Sabres. I think the Sabres were up though. They were doing well. Everybody thought maybe this was gonna be clinch day, but doesn't end up being it. But it's 1 point for the Leafs with 2 games remaining. Where do you want to start with this one, brother?
Maybe weathering the storm in the first period. A really impressive Joe Wall performance where they talked a little bit about it in the pregame. Where Fried was talking about how there's a big opportunity for him to just kind of go out there and put the little reminder. Put the little, the bug in the ear of the coach for, like we've all talked about it a million times. That Stolarz is game one guy, but put that thought in his mind going into game 1, going into game 2, going into game 3, that you have another really good guy on your bench. And I thought he was brilliant, particularly in the first period. Maybe you did a lot of stuff on the outside. They love to juice the shot counter down in Carolina to make their Corsies look good. But he made 2 or 3 really excellent saves. That could have been easily a 2 or 3 nothing lead for the Carolina Hurricanes. For a team on the second half of back-to-back with travel, that just didn't look very good.
Listen, the Hurricanes get to bring the chart up to Tulski and go, look at the Corsi, and he's like,
started saying something right when I started turning. I'm like, damn you, I knew it was you.
Like, hey, we'll get him next time.
It'll come around. It always does.
Process versus results, baby. So nerds lose. That's the way that I would look at this one. Tough day for the nerds because I thought that the Leafs just looked like a gassed out, not ready to play hockey team.
What were you busy
and then all of a
yelling
sudden,
at your
end of the
teammates
first,
to get going
after
or something all
Wool kept
weekend?
them hanging around, they just decided to put the pedal on. I think the shots, I wrote them down. I think they were 13-1.
Sounds like you've been
maybe it was even
doing
worse
your job.
I wrote it down when the Leafs got their second shot. 13-1. And then all of a sudden, they just started to really hustle at the end of the period, and they get this nice little hustle goal by Morgan Raliegh, who tips a puck over to Pontus Holmberg, and he finishes one. But I thought that they were dead in the water in this game, that Carolina was just going to find a way to force enough pucks towards the net that they would end up winning this game pretty much the opposite score of what this ended up being. And credit to Joe Wool. You're right, man. Like, again, it's not about the battle right now, but you want to feel great about both guys, and I think that you do.
You feel really good about both guys.
I was going to tell you right afterwards, but I'm like, I don't need to
when he's on, this is what it looks like. It's just sharp. There's not a lot of the rebounds aren't greasy. He's just in position and he's sharp. And he was really, really good tonight. So I give him a lot of credit.
We had an early night that night. We talked about it.
Morgan Raliegh there. That's kind of the next thing that I wanted to bring up. You have everything else to add on.
Got home.
Well, I would just say that I actually really liked his activity with the stick tonight.
Sure did, because
I thought that there was a few moments in tight where he just kind of ended up breaking up plays. And to me, again, that's the measure of a guy that was just playing with a lot of confidence. And we talk about this a lot with him, but I really do feel like he's a rhythm goaltender who likes to feel the puck and likes to feel it early. And as weird as it is to say, it's like, watching him get peppered by a bunch of shots from the outside and then make a few of the stops that he made just started to make me feel even more confident about him. Like, look at some of his movements. He looked athletic in the net. He was confident with the play with the stick. Yeah, the one goal that he lets in is at the very end of a power play that kind of it beats him a little. Like, he was there. It just sort of unluckily goes over his glove. Probably one that
classic goalie move. Oh, I think there's a hole in my glove. My glove is there. He's like looking at his glove like there must have been a hole. There's no way that shot just beat me clean. There's a hole. There's a hole.
I was going to say, it's the same move that every outfielder makes whenever he misses like a fly ball. And it's just like, look at the glove. Like, something must have happened to this
But
thing.
I'm bringing
like,
in the
no,
suitcases.
man. He just missed it. So it wasn't a great goal, but the rest of the game was awesome for him.
Thanks
And
for let me know
like I
the
said,
mic was
the
still
whole
on.
vision of this season was to have a 1A and a 1B. I don't think that it ended up playing out the way that the Leafs thought it was going to, with Wool being the 1B heading into the postseason. But yeah, like, he steps in there and he gives you that. And like, I don't know. It just, you might have the best two goalies in any series you're in, right? Especially given if they do play Tampa Bay and the way that Toronto makes Vasilevsky look. Like, Vasilevsky's been the second best goalie in the NHL since January 1st. The Leafs just still light him up every single time.
They shoot holes in him. He could be playing lights out. The playoff series they won against Tampa, he was hurt, so you can put a little bit of an asterisk beside it. But he was the main reason the Leafs won that series. Leafs got outplayed handily in a lot of those games, and he just let in muffins from the point for 6 games. So it was. So you're right. I mean, you really do have the goaltending advantage in almost every series that you're going to go into. So it's all the more pressure on the big boys to really perform this year in the playoffs. So can I bring up Raliegh now?
I was going to say that. Raliegh missed the hustle.
I can't wait. I can't wait to listen to that. I don't even know what I said. I don't know what everybody else said. I know I talked to my daughter about yelling and losing our voice and the security camera. Go Leafs, go. Oh, man. What a life. Going to get cameras or going to get suitcases out of the back of cars. And this is what happens. All right, back to hockey. Cheers, everybody.
That's a fantastic pass back to Matthews on the give and go.
Yeah, that was a really nice give and go. Good job by him, but it was like, out of the most obvious give and goes you'll ever see, is that it?
No, I mean, it's a pass out to the outside. Like, if you shoot that, if you try to pass that and it like skips off a stick, it doesn't land back at him, I definitely would have been screaming, why the hell didn't you shoot the puck? You're in the sweet spot.
I don't know. Austin Matthews.
For sure.
Yeah.
It's an obvious pass, but he's between the hash marks. That pass doesn't come off. We're both sitting here saying, why didn't he fire it? So it's a good play.
So, yeah, you're right. If it's a process versus results, like he gives that up, it gets broken up. We're saying shoot the puck. Why doesn't Morgan Raliegh make? But yeah, the thing I liked about that give and go is that it was decisive, and oftentimes we criticize him for kind of trying to dust it off when he ends up touching the puck. And that one, it was just like, yep, okay, cool, here it is. Same thing with the first goal that they make. It's like the guy makes a decision really, really quickly. So here's what I would say about Raliegh. It's been encouraging since Carlo has arrived. It just has been. You look at the plus minus, which I know everybody hates, but if we're going to use it to criticize him, then we need to use it to shed some positive light, which is it's improved. But to me, it's just like, I don't know, man. We'll see in the playoffs. I'm happy if he makes everybody look dumb, but I see a guy who's slowed down a little bit, who really relies on his foot speed more than any other part of his game. And it's a little scary to me. I see a lot of board battles that he's losing. I see a lot of play on the wall that is not super great. I still see the turnovers. I still see the poor gaps. But
that's,
I just think
that stuff, even when he's at his best, has never been great. Right.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
It's like it's the lack of production plus that stuff and now you're getting the production as you head towards playoffs, right? That's what you need to get from him, because he's never going to be gap control, board battle, cycle stopper defenseman. You have to take the good with the bad. And the good is the offensive production, the offensive mind, where he's helping out offensively with good reads like he had tonight in multiple spots. And at least to me, it's encouraging that side of the game's coming around, heading towards the playoffs, which makes me feel like it may improve once the playoffs start. But you're right. Like, there's still massive warts to his game, but at least the good part of his game is coming around a little bit.
Buddy, you know what? Honestly, to me, so much of this is like simple, and we don't just say this enough, is that his best attribute is when the Leafs play off the rush, and they're no longer a team that plays off the rush. And so I always trust him. Like, if you look at those goals tonight, like, one's a broken play that he jumps in and he supports it, the Holmberg goal, and the other one's like a rush play where he has a give and go with Austin Matthews. I trust the reads that he makes on the rush. It's what he is the best at. It's the thing that makes him special. I just don't think that he has the speed to create those plays the way that he used to. And so there's less of them. And then when we talk about the warts, there's more there. So yeah, like I don't want to spend today criticizing him because he had a good game.
Yeah.
But ultimately, like when you're saying your level of confidence that he just bounces back to play off Raliegh, it's just not the same in years past. Even though he has a better defense partner, even though he's been trending in the right direction, I just think that if you just look at the main thing about him, which is the foot speed and the way that this team plays hockey, those two things together, it combines for a bit of a formula that I feel different about. But the good game for him tonight. And he's part of a group that like Leafs got outshot in the second. They found their legs at the end of in the first. They found their legs at the end of the first, but the second period they gave up 2 shots to the Corsi team.
Yep. To the pump it towards the net. And he's part of that unit. And I thought they kind of, after Carolina scores that power play goal, I thought they kind of fell asleep there for a solid 4 to 5 minutes. Looked like they were definitely going to give up another one. And then they end up making it 4-1 and away you go. But yeah, I was impressed with him tonight. I'm just looking for reasons to dream that he'll go back to his old playoff ways because he's been really good in years past. And I liked him a lot tonight. The next thing I have for you. Are we going to do this Marner 100 points thing again?
Where he falls just short?
Yeah, like he's at 100. He's at
99. Whether he should play in the final game?
Because I can't do it with the Kipper, man. I can't do it with the Kipper show. I can't do it. Like if he's on 99, like they're playing Buffalo Tuesday night. He's obviously playing one of the 2 games. Like I'm not saying rest him for the rest of the 2 games, but he doesn't get a point against the Sabres. And this may all be a stupid conversation. It may all be moot. The Sabres reek. He's very likely to get a point against them, but. Like it is very funny that he just couldn't find another assist tonight or couldn't find one bounce off somebody's butt and go in, just had the 100-point thing. We don't have to have this conversation. It's every year we have this conversation at this exact same time. It's the exact same convo. It's hilarious. It's really hilarious.
Yeah. You got to get it done against the Sabres.
Have to.
Yeah.
And if you don't,
there's nothing else to say. It's just, you have to get it done against the Sabres if you want the 100 points. Because it will be the stupidest thing ever if they clinch and then he plays a hockey game against the Detroit Red Wings on the final game of the season. Like, there's just no reason to play him. No. In fact, like, you have to get it done against the Sabres in limited minutes or on a power play, something, because I still even think with 1 point to go over the next 2 games, you got to do a little bit of what they were doing tonight, which is spreading out the ice time.
Yep. Little load management.
Yeah. Like try to take some stress off.
In-game load management. But
yeah,
maybe that was more of a rapid fire thing, but I just,
it probably was, but who cares?
I just think it's so funny topic. That we're right back here. Like we're here. It wasn't last year because he missed a bunch of time, right? Like he missed, how many games did he miss last year? He ended up in the 80s, I think, last year.
Yeah.
But
last year he missed like the most
2 years before that. It was the exact same conversation that we had. And it's just so funny that we're right back here. But I thought he was really good tonight. So he gets a point and but anyways.
99 points.
99, Mr. 99.
Yeah. Well, wait, did he have 99 before? Yeah, he did.
I think he said 99 twice, maybe 97.
No, he said 99 once. I'm just pulling up right now because I thought it was 98.
Yeah. This year's 99. That year's 99. He's had 97 one year, right?
Yeah. 97 one year and 94 one year. So he's just Mr. 90s. You know he wants it.
Yeah, so that's Yusuf Asmini says, wouldn't Marner have to play? We have no cap to call up guys. I think you play a guy short or 2 guys short if the thing's clinched. Like, I don't know. Maybe you can't. So maybe
I don't know how you could justify playing any of your studs in a final game of the regular season when you're already clinched up.
Yeah.
And your group a year before was missing 2 of the core 4 players heading into game 1 of the postseason.
Yeah, but I mean, play 11-7, play 10-8, play 10-8. I don't care.
Yeah,
play whoever you. I really don't care. I don't know how you figure it out. You figure it out. But anyways, Yusuf could be right, and we could look like idiots. But I just if you're clinched, you got it. You can't play him.
You can't play him. You can't play him. And also, I'll say the exact same take that I had 2 years ago, which is that if you're Mitch Marner, it says something about you believing in the group and you putting the team ahead of yourself if you don't go chasing points in that final game of the regular season. Also, it's kind of the beautiful, safe way out because even though you don't get 100, you get to say, well, the guy could have had 100, but he sacrificed it to not. And you take away what would be so embarrassing if you play that game. You get 20 minutes and you don't get a point.
I just think it's like, can we just have 1 year at the end of least where it's not like, what's his name? Oh, sorry. Chris Cupper brought it up on the broadcast. Oh, and Matthews is one away from. I'm like, stop. Just stop bringing up stop bringing up all these points and all these milestones. I don't care about the milestones. Win a round.
The broadcasters, they got to do
I know. Of course they do. But like for me as a fan, I'm like, this is just giving me PTSD from that 70 goal chase last year.
You can't be that guy. You can't be that guy. I'm sorry. You can't be that guy because this is my number one pet peeve. It's like when I talk about contracts on my show and people are like, why does the media always talk about the contracts? It's like, because I do a show.
That's a totally different thing. Like that's that's a stupid argument.
I can't stand it when people are like, you said the thing or you tweeted something that happened during the game and then it was like too early. It's like, shut up. It's just watching sports. I don't care about when people say stuff. I think it's just kind of funny whenever an announcer curse ends up happening. Like, I'm like, wow, what a jinx.
I'm not talking about a curse.
Yeah,
I'm
I know.
talking about hearing it and being like, can there just not be a chase at the end of the year for something? Yeah. Can there just be a chase for the second round? How's that sound?
Yeah.
How about a chase for the chase for the conference finals would be sick instead of the chase for 400 goals and the chase for 100 points. It's like, I don't care.
But everyone thinks that. Nobody cares. We already know this, man. Austin Matthews scored 69 goals in a season, and who cares? Like, literally, who cares?
Well, the end of last season, everybody cared, and it was horrible. It was a horrible, embarrassing end of the season.
You're right. But now, with the benefit of hindsight, does anybody look back on that 69 goals and be like, man, what a time to be alive?
No.
Yeah, it's nothing. Not at all. It means nothing. You remember that they lost in Game 7 to the Bruins. That's what you remember. And you remember that he wasn't healthy in the postseason. Like, that's
he was pushing for 70 goals at the end of the year. Anyways.
Yeah, exactly. So that's why, again, you've already learned your lesson. Like, I still to this day, the one that I'll always remember is the Patriots, like Julian Edelman, it was Wes Welker that like tore his ACL in the final game of the season, playing a meaningless game for the Patriots because they were like trying to stick it to the Colts, going, oh, we play all the games out. It's like, no, you just don't play. You do not play the last game of a regular season, hunting records, points, whatever. No, it's just you got to have your eyes on the prize. Anyway, I'm gonna say it again. Another noticeable uptick game for Scott Laughton.
Yeah, God, I wanted that slap shot to go in so bad, man. That was awesome.
And man, this is something you and I talk about all the time where it's like, why not this more? Like that clapper from the hash marks. That's the move, like that's the non-fancy boy sick move that we always want to see. And he just missed it. God,
man, talking little cross sport reference here with the Masters from the forward tees, just lets it. Bach tries to go top corner, and he scored one of these. I don't know if it was this year, but like he has a filthy bar down slap shot at some point in his career that looks a lot like this. And this was so close that I thought that the horn was going to go off. I thought it went down and off the inside the net, ice and out.
I knew it right away based on his reaction because this guy was going to celebrate one like that.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. But that's just one you want it to go in so bad for him. It's a goal that would have put the game away. It's a shorty. It's a great moment that all the team can get super fired up with. And he just hammered that head down hard as he could. And Freddie just has no chance. You're right. More guys should do this. You're a professional shooter. You're in the NHL. You can shoot it really hard. And you're going to come in and try to deke it 14 times and make the goalie miss. Just shoot it past his glove. Whistle one by his ear. Loved it.
Yeah. Like I said, that should be the mandatory move for anybody that is like below William Nylander level of skill. It's like, okay, it should be a check mark box. It's like, when we do the shootout, are you one of the first three guys? If so, okay, do a move. If not, rush it in and bomb it.
Hammer it.
Just do that. Anyway, I thought Laughton was better tonight. And again, it's little things, and I know I'm looking for it, but his line had some moments. They were kind of generating some stuff in the offensive zone. I felt like they were doing a great job of keeping the Carolina Hurricanes to the outside. Like they didn't have real bad lapses. So yeah, good to see Laughton trending this way. I'm just saying. And then Domi gets the bump up to the second line that creates a goal late in the game too.
Yeah, there was a nice pass. I mean, it's a pretty open pass, but it's one that he loves to make. That's his dream scenario with a guy going to the net with a stick on the ice. Like, there's no play that Domi wants to make more than this one right here. Like, this is his dream play. But yeah, I do think that Domi in the top six is probably the best use of him. Like, I really do. I think there's enough really good players, and like that's his dream play right there. If you're watching on Sportsnet, just hard slap pass right across the ice for a tip. But what I'll say is, I think there's like playing with Tavares and Nylander, you're not going to love that line defensively, clearly, but it's a great offensive line with guys who kind of think together well. I think they would probably be pretty hesitant to do it in the playoffs just because of how bad defensively that line has the potential to be. But how many times have I said to you that I'd like to see Domi in the top 6 more? We've had that conversation probably on 15, 20 Leaf Talks this year. It's just, I think he plays way better with good players. I know there's a lot of guys you could say that about, but Domi specifically just thinks on the same level as a lot of these good players. He just doesn't necessarily have the I don't know what the word I'm looking for here, not skill, but whatever. He's not necessarily a top 6 guy, but when he goes up there, he can look like it. So I don't know what they do. It's kind of scary to me that they haven't really figured out what their lines are. We're 2 games away from the playoffs, but he looked good tonight. So good on him. Nice pass for an assist.
So I like this. I like the look of this line. I would give it one more peek because, again, you're playing for 1 point. So why not see what they can do? Again, the issue is that you need Tavares for a lot of D-zone draws.
Yeah.
And it's like you lose those draws, and now all of a sudden you're out in the ice with Max Domi, a place that you don't really want to be. I don't mind it, though. I've always thought like there's supposed to be enough skill with the other players that are on the line in the top 6 to be able to paper over some of Domi's mistakes. I still think Domi, the only way that he actually lives up to the contract is if Mitch Marner walks in free agency and he steps in as like a Mitch Marner extreme light on the first line playing with Austin Matthews.
Yeah.
But I thought this was something we figured out last year, and we've talked about a billion times with this team. It's like Max Domi really only makes sense as a top 6 winger with this Leafs group, and anywhere else he's never really fit, and you get frustrated with the holes in the game rather than the thing that he can do well. And so, tonight he was buzzing around. Tonight he made plays, and he deserves credit for it.
Yeah.
But when he's trying to be your third line center, that obviously is not a workable solution. It's why going into the deadline, they overpaid for Scott Laughton. Like their GM agrees with you. Their GM with the truth serum, the chips are down. And he said, here's a 1st-round pick and a top 4 prospect because I don't think Max Domi is a third line center. And so it's like, it's not even really up for debate.
And then the coach continued to play him as he's like, you know what? You traded for a third line center. Now it's time to keep him as a third line center, Domi, and play the guy on the wing with him for some reason.
Like, I don't know, man. It's a weird one. It's a tough fit with this team, and it's always hard to picture just exactly where he goes. But I did think that the bottom 6 tonight did have some identity and some purpose and was quality without him in there.
Yeah, I like Laughton, Lorentz, and Yarncroc. A few different shifts tonight. Thought they had their moments. And listen, when it comes to playoff time, you're not looking for gangbusters from your 4th line. You're looking for 8 to 11 capable minutes where they might chip in a goal and they don't give up 2. That's really when they looking generate
some offensive push and let in the big boy line, one of the big boy lines, come over the boards and actually feel like they actually just had some positive momentum, right? Be nice to have your third line have a shift just like this, where all of a sudden the other group can just hop over the boards and say, okay, cool, we've got him hemmed in.
Yeah, absolutely. So no, that was a good night for those guys. I was impressed.
I think it's pretty clear. Like we've got the graphic, like 4th line finds their footing. It's like that's the third line.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it is. It is.
Oh, it is.
It's the third line.
That's the third line. What you saw tonight is the third line.
The bottom 6 is pretty interchangeable. They're like 3.5 lines. But I'm just looking at the ice times for, so Laughton ended up playing 15, Lorentz played 15, and Yarncroc played 16. So that's the third line. Robertson plays 10. McMahon only played 11 minutes tonight. If you're looking at that, that's pretty crazy for him.
Yeah.
And then Holmberg played 10:30. So
man, Rory at the Masters, just roller coaster ride. It's either the highs of the highs and the lows of the lows.
Yeah. Quick shout out for Pontus Holmberg. A goal tonight and another penalty drawn. This guy's a artist. How many penalties has he drawn this year? He has to be top 3 in the league in drawing penalties. I don't know how they even looked that up, but he draws a million penalties.
He's definitely their ice time leader, like per minute drawn penalties.
No question. Yeah, if we're doing advanced stats, penalties drawn per minute, if in honor of Carolina, then he is definitely right up there. But draws another one tonight, scores. Johnny on the spot, good for him. I mean, I don't particularly have anything else great to say about him, but I thought that was a good play for him to shoot that in the net, draw a penalty. But he loves to draw the penalties. It's pretty remarkable that he does that all the time.
I got to tell you though, too, man. Like my overall takeaway from this game is just like, and I know that Carolina is not really, they're not dying for something right now either. What?
They're playing for nothing.
Yeah, exactly. So this wasn't exactly the most high intensity game, but my position just remains very clear with this team. I really do feel like they're going to beat whoever they face other than Florida.
Yeah.
That they've just got something about them right now where it's like they reel off a ton of wins, man. They just find ways to win these games. They've got a wide variety in which they can do it. And yeah, it just says something. I think it says something about your team when you get outshot by 15 in the first period and you still find a way to just take advantage of Carolina and bury a couple on them. And the way that I feel about our goaltender versus the guy that they have who used to play here and just about every other team they match up with, you just feel good about their chances, even with what the shooting numbers are. They've just got they really do. This feels really stupid to say about the Leafs, but they've got a winning aura about their team.
Make sure that one wasn't get clipped anywhere.
Yeah, it'll probably make me look stupid as hell. But it's just like,
no, but I will say it feels way different than it ever has.
Yeah,
in this era, like I mean, tonight they had a good defensive effort where 3 of their defensemen were Dakota Mermis, Philip Myers, and Simone Benoit. Right, like they
held
are
2 shots in a period.
Yes, so they are playing with a certain identity that you can picture having some serious success in the playoffs. Will it? That's the next question. But I mean, I'm really excited about this potential first round matchup with the Sens. Now that we're getting closer and closer, it is getting pretty exciting. But that's a different conversation for a different day. I do also have another cross sport sort of reference in that ilk.
Hit me.
I do think Rory winning is an excellent omen for the Toronto Maple Leafs.
I agree. The guy who you never thought was going to get it done got it done in this year.
Yes. There's been so many of these weird little omens this year with the Bruins and the Red Wings missing for the first time since '67. Last time Leafs made the playoffs for the 9th straight year. The 9th year was 1967.
Yep.
Like there's just all these little omens, and Rory, in my gun in my head, truly, if you ask me, would he ever win the Masters? I would said unequivocally no. Unequivocally no, especially after what we saw last year at the US Open. And he just couldn't make a 2-footer. Like he was broken. And the fact that he got over the hump, I'm telling you, buddy, that is the fans of Rory and the fans of Leafs, they have very, very, very similar sort of vibes. And I can't help but think it's a good omen. I can't explain it any further than that.
What's your star sign and when were you born?
You're a Libra, aren't you, darling? I'm a Libra.
Yeah, like I don't buy any of this crap, but whatever.
Okay, I buy some of
it. You know what I think it's good for, if I actually do believe in it to a certain degree, why I think it's a good omen, is because if you are a loser like the Leafs, which they are losers, like there's just no doubt about it.
Famous losers.
You see Rory get it done and you say to yourself, we could do it too.
Yes.
That's where it matters to me.
I just thought, like, listen, we don't want to do too much Masters talk because I know you're going to do 2 hours of it tomorrow.
Yeah, I do.
I can't stand Rory. I've been able to stand Rory for a really long time. And as one of the preeminent Rory haters, even I couldn't hate on that today. That was one of the most beautiful reactions I've ever seen in any sporting event. The drop to the knees, the immediate it just meant the guy's got all the money in the world.
Yeah.
And it was a beautiful thing. So congrats to Rory. Congrats.
So my question to you is, does he now have another run of majors, or did he just get that and now he's like, I'm putting my feet up. There's no pressure on anything. I don't even need to be prepared for this event anymore. Because Rory always does get hot before the Masters too, right? That's his MO.
Yeah. It's a great question and one that I've thought about. Is he going to win 3 majors now or never compete in a golf tournament again? That's the 3 majors this year. I mean, is he going to get stupid hot or something? But beautiful. That was beautiful. I think he wins another major this year now. That's off.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Because that makes it super compelling. Is if all of a sudden he's like, no, I actually really want to be the big dog again because this was the Tiger successor, man.
Okay, hold on a second. Christian just put this in the chat. Rory quote on the Leafs from June 2nd, 2024. Was this from the Canadian Open? sounds like they're making some changes this offseason, and hopefully that's the catalyst to hopefully making a run in the playoffs and maybe getting that Stanley Cup. Oh, it's our year, baby. Shout out. What's your boy's name, Frank?
Hockey
it's our
Illuminati.
year. It's our year. Hockey Illuminati, baby.
Yeah.
It's our
He's
year.
going to be on Friday. I'm going to have him back in studio.
Yes.
I'm having him come in. So he'll
Read that
burn his
quote.
page. He'll do his weird things that he'll use. And I love it. Listen, it's like the George Costanza thing. It's not a lie if you believe it, right? Like perception is reality. So if you believe in this kind of stuff, the omens, all the power to you. I'm jealous of you. I wish I believed that way. I just can't get around to it. It's like I said, when I go on a date and the girl across from me asks me what time I was born, I'm like, oh, this isn't gonna work out. It's just
I have no idea what time I was born. Do people know that?
Yeah. No, the only time that I've ever asked what time I was born was to satiate that question because
I have no clue.
Yeah, you've been married, brother. Like for a while.
It's true. It's true.
You've never had to do the dating game, so you don't know what's out there in the world. And I'll tell you right now, it's a lot of ladies who really do believe in astrology.
Okay.
It's common.
Yeah,
it's common out there in the streets. Some of the brothers in the chat can testify to this. Like, there's a few fellas that are out there grinding in the streets that understand exactly that question and what happens when you see it.
Wow.
But yeah, some of you believe in it because Rory, it's like you can't. I'll tell you this right now: you can never make fun of the star sign if you're like Rory won, so I believe the Leafs are going to win. That's the exact same thing. That's boy math.
No, hold on.
Yeah,
you do believe in this stuff because you and me.
I believe in the moment. With friends.
No, not the moment. It was after the moment. Okay, let me tell a little story.
When?
You, me, and my best bud, JD Bunkus, we went to a certain establishment in Toronto.
Oh, yeah, that for sure.
To watch the bat flip game. The bat flip game, they won. And exactly 1 year later, we went to that same bar, went to the same table, and sat down with two women who were sitting at that table who we did not know and did a shot at that same table, explained to them the situation, and the Jays won that game. The Jays
move over so that we can actually
won that game. And you're going to sit here and tell me you don't believe?
No, I believe in positive vibes. I don't believe in like this. I told you I believe in positive vibes.
No. You believe. You're a sports god believer. Don't you dare do that to me.
I guess where we went before the Jays season started this year, where we go before every start of Jays season.
The same bar. But was it the same table, though?
No, we didn't go to the table this year, but yes. Yeah. And Luke asked, do you believe in the power of the amulet?
Yes.
And obviously, I believe in the power of the amulet.
Of course.
That's different. That's science.
We got to get the amulet for the playoff run.
Oh, I know, man. We got to get the amulet. Luke, get on amulet lookup. We need to find out how to purchase these.
Surely Sportsnet will let us expense that, right?
Yeah. Surely they will. Surely they will. All right. Yeah, no, it was a great Masters. It really was. And
Congrats to Rory and all his fans. It was spectacular.
Yeah, it was a truly incredible roller coaster ride. We texted each other, it's over. I'm going to say 10 times.
At least. This is the only way he was going to win, where he choked 4 separate times.
This was my case. But this was my case yesterday, which is and he didn't run away with it like I thought he was going to. But I thought there was something to the fact that he had already had a couple of chokes and that he recovered from said chokes, that it didn't just bury him. And he had the line about I'm not going to let the one hole define me or the 2 holes define me. And I went, that's what the Leafs need to do is don't let one bad game define you and just win. Get to a game 7 and win.
Buddy, there's some parallels. Ooh.
Yeah. Amulets, star signs, omens, Leafs talk. Subscribe, review. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at JDBuckus, at Sammy McKee. Let us know if you believe. We'll be back on, what is it, Tuesday night?
Tuesday against the Sabres.
Yeah, Tuesday against the Sabres. Hopefully the last meaningful game of the regular season. Then it's on to playoffs, baby. Let's go.
Stadiums for the coziest holes in the wall. From house parties to porch hangs to pride celebrations. From your favorite fuss shop to your local Indian spot. From noodle bars to sports bars to salsa bars. There's a Molson with your name on it. Canadian Ultra XL. Molson. Everyone in. Must be legal drinking age.
Heard of Uline? You know, the have-it-all in stock, ready-to-deliver shipping and industrial supply specialists.
the company that does things for you that are unheard of, like keeping 41,000 items in stock in our own warehouses. With customer service reps on the line to get you what you need when you need it 24/7, 365.
Hockey fans, Maple Leafs fans, thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight for the Maple Leafs game on TSI. What a game it was. What a night it was. It never fails. Every time the Leafs play, the chat's going wild. The bees are in the chat. Everybody's cheering each other up, having a great time, cheering on our Maple Leafs. And while we do so, making a difference with SickKids Hospital in Toronto. Thank you for hanging out with us tonight. We'll see you in the next one. Please make sure you hit that like button if you haven't done so already, and I will let the post-game run, as always, until our buddy Frank comes on. And I hear that voice, it still makes me cringe. We'll see you back in the chat. Thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight, Insiders. Cheers and good night. Go Leafs, go.
You on the ice.
If the Rangers get into the playoffs, Igor Shesterkin should win the Hart Trophy, because what is going on in front of him is an absolute miracle. They're within a mile of this playoff run.
The reason you are inconsistent is because you're consistently inconsistent. That's why they are not Tampa, Florida, Washington. I'm not buying it. What's that song? I won't be fooled again.
Sirius XM, NHL Network Radio. Sirius XM 91.
Hey, Jim Rome here. What's cracking?
Hi.
Hope you're enjoying the game. And when you're not taking in a game, find us on Sirius Channel 161, XM Channel 206. In fact, we'll be there every weekday afternoon, 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern Time. If you've got something you want to break down from this game, you know where to find us. Just make sure you have it taken. Don't suck.
Step your game up.
That has never changed. In fact, the show has never changed. We're just back home. And it's great to be there. Sirius 161, XM 206. See you there.
It's soccer's most thrilling league.
Only the Premier League can make you feel like this.
And now every match is on the Sirius XM app.
Can you believe it?
From the title race.
This is remarkable. Keeps this title charge on track, surely.
To the relegation fight.
The impossible may still be possible.
Hear every English Premier League match on Sirius XM FC 157 and the Sirius XM app. Just search for your favorite club.
Join me, Gord Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91.
The world's most thrilling league is now in the palm of your hand. Hear every English Premier League match all season long on the Sirius XM app. Just search for your favorite team. Hockey lives here.
Suzuki sweeps it. There's a chance. Rebound, Caulfield shoots and scores.